Chapter 43:17. However, right at this moment, everyone discovered that a piercingly cold sword light streaked across the sky and directly cleaved that figure into two. In the next moment, the body turned into a bloody mist and floated out of the pagoda. What? Was he killed? Was there someone chasing after him? The surrounding people were all stunned. The silver corpse Saint King roared in anger. Damn it! The reincarnation protector stretched out his hand and tried to grab the reincarnation protector. However, the reincarnation protector turned around and glared at him coldly. Holy King Silver Corpse's hand stopped in mid-air. This was the reincarnation guardian's territory, and he did not dare to act recklessly. He could only clench his teeth and retract his hand. The person who came out of the Acheron Hall was killed. After that, more people came out. They were the people from the Primordial Grotto, the Great Desolate Mansion, and the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. They were all injured and their faces were ugly. The moment they came out, they shouted, "Old Ancestor, kill him! Holy King, you must avenge us!" These people were shouting crazily. They were on the verge of tears. Meanwhile, those Saint Kings frowned. What was going on? Could it be that their people had suffered a loss? Holy King Silver Corpse of the Acheron Hall looked even worse. That was because no one came back from his side. Damn it! How could it be? Where were the 5 people who went in? They must be behind. However, the next people to come out were Lin Xian, Ling Hu Chueshue, and the rest of the people from Wushuang City. Wushuang Holy King smiled. He waved his hand and called everyone to his side. Damn it! Where were they? The Silver Corpse Saint King roared and glared at the front. Lin Xian sneered. Don't look forward to it. The 5 people from the Acheron Hall have all died in there. What? The other Holy Kings were shocked too. All of them had died? To be honest, they had expected the 5 of them to die. However, only 5 people had entered the Acheron Hall. Didn't that mean that all of them had died? That was too shocking. Not a single person from the Holy City could come out. Moreover, the Acheron Hall was the host this time. It was a slap in the face. The people from the other holy cities did not look good either. The reason for that was because their losses were also extremely disastrous. For example, the Primordial Grotto's Sacred King's spirit language was clenching his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. He discovered that Shi Qingyu was among the dead. One had to know that Shi Qingyu was a top-notch expert on their side. Moreover, she had even held a Saint King's weapon back then. He even joined forces with an expert from the Great Desolate Mansion. Even 2 Saint King-level weapons couldn't kill him? Like the Great Desolate Mansion and Thunder God City, they had also suffered heavy losses. Therefore, these people gritted their teeth and looked towards Peerless City. The gazes of these Saint Kings pierced through the void, shattering the surrounding heaven and earth. Peerless Sacred King activated the law of devouring, forming a huge black vortex that engulfed the murderous intent. Then, he said, "What? Are you going to fight in front of the reincarnation protectors? All right, Peerless Saint King, I will remember this. Do you think this matter will end so quickly? Just you wait." The eyes of these Saint Kings were filled with killing intent. However, Peerless Saint King groaned coldly. He did not care at all. So what if it was a threat? Lin Xian sneered. What? You can't take it anymore? I've said it before. When you attacked me back then, you should have thought of the consequences. Damn it. Saint King Silver Corpse and the others gritted their teeth. They wished they could kill this despicable brat in front of them. However, they did not do so because the reincarnation protector had walked over. He said, "Since everyone has come out, I believe that some of you have obtained the Saint King's will. Very well. 1 year later, bring the Saint King's will to see me. I will bring you to the buried Emperor's star. All right, you can leave now." As the reincarnation protector's voice fell, the surrounding people took a deep breath. Was it finally the final moment? Some of the people who had obtained the Saint King's will clenched their fists. 1 year later, they would be able to go to the buried Emperor's star. Let's go. Since the matter had ended, there was no point in staying here. It was better to leave. Peerless Saint King waved his hand, and the law of devouring enveloped Lin Xian and the others. Then, he left. Murong Qingsheng and the others also left. On the other side, the immemorial grotto, Acheron Palace, and the others also soared into the sky and left. However, they did not leave the origin star. Instead, they stayed here. After all, a year was a very short time for them. Master, where are we going? Linghu Chueshue and the others asked after the three of them came out. Here, they were unfamiliar with the people and the place. Lin Xian said, I have a place. Let's go. Indeed, the immortal palace was still here. Lin Xian felt that it was time to go back. They walked towards the immortal palace. As for the others, after they came out, they gritted their teeth and said, Go and find out where they went. The Saint Kings gritted their teeth. It seemed like they wanted to attack immediately. At this moment, Gu Feng and the people from the Gu family came out. He said that Lin Xian had left this world. When he was in this world, he was the palace master of the immortal palace. You can go to the immortal palace to look for him. The immortal palace? The people from Acheron Palace and the Great Desolation Mansion frowned. The people from Immemorial Grotto snorted coldly. I know. Let's go. In an instant, they also left. On the other side, Wan Jianyi transmitted his voice to Gu Feng. You promised me that you would let me learn the primal chaos technique. Gu Feng's eyes flickered. He said, Don't worry. I will bring you there in 2 days. The Immortal Palace. At this moment, there were changes. As the power of the true spirit world recovered, the strength of the people of the Immortal Palace increased by leaps and bounds. For example, Peacock and the others had also become saints. Moreover, the overall strength of the Immortal Palace had increased. Some living fossils had even been revived. Therefore, they were still a powerful force. However, on this day, a black vortex suddenly appeared outside the Immortal Palace. Following that, one figure after another walked out. Immediately, the people in the Immortal Palace sensed it. Many elders opened their eyes. Their eyes emitted a biting cold light. How terrifying! This was the aura of a Saint King. Had a Saint King come? Although the true spirit world had recovered its power, a Saint King was still a peak existence here. It was very rare to find a higher existence. It was basically impossible to find one. Perhaps the buried Emperor Star had an even more terrifying existence. Therefore, when Lin Xian and the others sensed the aura of a Saint King, it was as if they were facing a great enemy. A portion of them said, Let's go out and take a look. At the same time, he instructed them to quickly inform the old palace master. The old palace master he spoke of was naturally Xia Juyo. This was the immortal palace? After the peerless Saint King and the others came out, they looked ahead and revealed a look of surprise. Since they dared to use the name Immortal Palace, it was enough to show how powerful the foundation of the sect ahead was. Chapter 43:18. Lin Xian agreed. Indeed, this was the place. He did not expect the changes to be so great. To be honest, although he was the Immortal Palace's palace master, he was only in charge of a portion of the palace's power. Most of the palace's power should still be in hibernation. Now that he was here, he realized that some of the palace's power had begun to awaken. At that moment, the formation in front of him opened up. One by one, figures flew out. They were all sages. They asked what kind of divine being had graced their immortal palace with his presence. As those figures walked out, they looked forward. Soon, they saw a handsome young man. They were stunned. He was so young. That person was the Sage King. Moreover, he realized that there were many young figures around the Sage King. Each of them was very powerful. They should be young geniuses. Unparalleled Sage King said, We are from the second astral realm, unparalleled sacred city. The elders in the second astral realm frowned. They did not seem to have much contact with the people from the second astral realm. At that moment, Lin Xian walked out and looked around. He realized that some of the elders looked unfamiliar. They must have awakened recently. Do you guys still recognize me? As soon as he said that, countless people looked at Lin Xian. Some of them were surprised, while others were shocked. It can't be, right? At that moment, another figure walked over from afar. It was a woman with 5-colored light. She exclaimed, Palace Master, is that you? As soon as she said that, everyone was stunned. Palace Master. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, That's right, it's Palace Master Lin. Palace Master Lin has returned from the ancient Star Road. That's right, it's me, Lin Xian said loudly. Suddenly, a cry of surprise sounded. Greetings, Palace Master. Peacock took the lead and bowed with her people. The others also bowed one after another. Greetings, Palace Master. Some of the elders had never seen Lin Xian before, but they knew who he was. He was the young Palace Master that they had never met. This is my senior brother, unparalleled Sage King. Lin Xian introduced him with a smile. Hearing that, the surrounding people were stunned. What? Ling Hu Chueshue and the others also widened their eyes in disbelief. Senior brother. To be honest, they thought that Peerless Holy King was Lin Xian's master. Who would have thought that it would be his senior brother? What was going on? The Peerless Holy King said that Lin Xian was indeed his junior brother, and he would tell them more about it when he had the time. Ling Hu Chueshue and the others took a deep breath. They knew that this matter was true. It would appear that they had gained another martial uncle. The group entered the Immortal Palace. The people inside the Immortal Palace also cried out in surprise. They didn't expect Lin Xian to return. They hurried in. What followed was a feast. However, at this time, the formation outside the Immortal Palace changed again. In the next moment, a yellow springs diagram appeared above their palace. Countless streams of yellow spring water surged in all directions, forming the figure of the Silver Corpse Holy King. Then, a cold voice sounded. Was that Immortal Palace? A person who was abandoned by an immortal could actually become Immortal Palace's palace master. It truly was a mockery. Who was it? Immortal Palace's people cried out in alarm, raising their heads towards the sky. They felt the aura of a holy king pressing down on them. Needless to say, it was also a holy king. Lin Xian and the people from Peerless City all frowned. It was the Silver Corpse Holy King. This guy actually found his way here. Who are you? Hurry up and leave. Or don't blame Immortal Palace for being impolite. The elders beside him also stood up and shouted coldly. So what if the other party was a holy king? If he dared to provoke their palace master, he would be making an enemy of Immortal Palace. Who cared who he was? They couldn't let him go. At this time, the void shattered, and another figure appeared. It was Spirit Holy King Yin. He said coldly, Immortal Palace, do you want to go against our immemorial grotto? When these words came out, the expressions of Immortal Palace's people changed. It was actually someone from the immemorial grotto. They furrowed their brows as Lin Xian looked at the two of them and coldly said, What did you come here for? Brat, we're here for you. Spirit Holy King Yan's cold voice sounded. However, before he could finish his words, he heard an angry shout. Get out! Lin Xian said coldly. Who do you think you are? You came to Immortal Palace and obediently waited outside the array. Who allowed you to come in like this? At this moment, Lin Xian was incomparably domineering. Spirit Holy King Yan's expression immediately turned ugly. A young junior dared to shout at him. Did he want to die? His body emitted a terrifying killing intent. The Silver Corpse Holy King also said, Brat, do you really think we don't dare to attack you? There are no reincarnation protectors now. If you want to attack, you can try. I can guarantee that your two holy lands will be miserable. Peerless Holy King also stood up, emitting a terrifying killing intent. Next, Thunder God City's Holy King, Demon City's Desolate Heaven Holy King, and even Myriad Sword Frame's Ghost Deity Holy King all came out. Their cold gazes looked down. Although they didn't attack, their intentions were very clear. This was a threat. Obviously, Peerless City had to be extra careful. These Holy Kings' figures finally disappeared into the sky. However, everyone's brows were tightly knitted. What was the palace master doing? The people from Immortal Palace were very confused. Lin Xian said, These are all enemies. Send people to investigate them and keep an eye on their movements. The people from Immortal Palace nodded and began to prepare. Lin Xian said, Senior brother, let's go into seclusion first. After a year, we can go to the buried Emperor Star. At that time, even Holy Kings won't be able to threaten us. Let's hope so. Peerless Holy King nodded and said, You guys have just returned and experienced a series of battles. You should quickly go into seclusion and cultivate. Lin Xian and the others began to cultivate. Peerless Holy King frowned. Although there was only a year's time, would those people really not attack? It seemed like he had to prepare in advance. Lin Xian began to cultivate in seclusion. He used various treasures to recover his exhausted energy and injuries. Then, he prepared to come out of seclusion. Although he had obtained many treasures, he had obtained 2 Holy King wills. One of them was even cultivated by him. Therefore, he only had 1 Holy King wills left. However, he wasn't worried because he had ways to get it. Therefore, he prepared to go out and meet the 9-headed Qilin. The 9-headed Qilin, as the top genius of Demon City, would definitely obtain some Holy King wills this time. Therefore, he prepared to collect them. Hearing that Lin Xian was going out, the people from Immortal Palace became nervous. After all, the Holy Kings had just left. The killing intent had not completely dissipated. Chapter 43:19. Lin Xian said. It was fine. He wasn't too worried. The Great Sage Tower had returned to his hands. Even if he encountered a Sage King and couldn't defeat him, he could still escape calmly by hiding in the Great Sage Tower. Lin Xian left the Immortal Palace and returned to this world. He felt everything that was familiar yet unfamiliar. He was deeply moved. Back then, he was known as the Central Emperor here. He and a few others were the top geniuses. He didn't know how many geniuses had appeared in this world after so many years. Lin Xian's speed was extremely fast. On this day, he arrived at a region. He discovered that there were many people gathered in front of him. Moreover, they were discussing. Clearly, something big had happened. He also walked over. His return didn't cause too much of a commotion. Because so many years had passed, he had probably become a legend. Most of the people who had seen him before had left. Therefore, these rising geniuses really didn't know him. Lin Xian came to the crowd and heard some of the discussions. It turned out that not long ago, a shocking battle had happened here. Someone had defeated the 4 Symbols Sacred Ground Saints. It caused an uproar. The 4 Symbols Sacred Ground was an extremely powerful sacred ground that focused on close combat and physical strength. And now, it was different from before. The current saints were all top geniuses. Their strength should be at the sacred venerate level. It was really shocking that such a person had been defeated. Lin Xian was also curious. He heard a name called Han Chong. He had never heard of this name before, so he didn't know who the other party was. However, there were geniuses rising every day in the true spirit world, so he wasn't surprised. However, a few days later, Lin Xian heard another piece of news. It turned out that Han Chong was going to continue challenging. This time, he was challenging the 5 Elements Sacred Ground Saints. In an instant, countless people exclaimed. Even Lin Xian was surprised. He recalled that when he had become famous all those years ago, he had challenged all the top cultivators in the world. The 5 Elements Sacred Ground was nearby, so Lin Xian was prepared to go and take a look. He soared into the sky. At this moment, the 5 Elements Sacred Ground's expression was solemn. They had some understanding of Han Chong, but what he knew was very limited. He only knew that the other party had defeated the holy sons of 2 holy lands and was extremely powerful. However, they had no idea who the other party was or where he came from. And now, such a mysterious young expert had come to challenge their 5 Elements holy land. Would they be able to stop it? Right now, the 5 Elements holy son was an extremely dazzling person. He had also reached middle stage holy venerate, and his cultivation was very strong. Furthermore, the power of the 5 elements formed a set of armor that completely enveloped him. His confident gaze was rarely seen. Elders, don't worry. I can handle it. The elders of the 5 Elements Holy Land also nodded. The 5 Elements Saint was a genius who had suddenly grown up after the changes in heaven and earth. Moreover, they were very lucky and had consumed heavenly treasures before. Therefore, they were very confident. Under everyone's gazes, the battle had finally arrived. A figure descended from the sky. It was a man in a blue battle robe. He looked very young. However, no one dared to underestimate him at all, because he was Han Chong, who had just risen to prominence recently. On the other side, a group of people walked out from the 5 Elements Sanctuary. The person in the lead was a man in 5 Elements armor. He was the five-element saint. His piercing gaze pierced through the void as he looked at the man in the sky. He said coldly, "Are you Han Chong?" "That's right, I am Han Chong." He descended and landed on the ground. He looked at the five-element saint. "Today, I challenge you. Show me your strongest technique. Don't disappoint me. You will see." The five-element saint said coldly. In the next moment, he formed a seal with his palms, and the terrifying five elements log gathered in his hands. A five elements mountain formed around him. Everyone gasped. The five elements saint was indeed extraordinary. That was for sure. Now that he could become a saint, he must be a top-notch genius. Discussions broke out one after another. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes as well. The laws of the five elements? He knew them as well. He could tell that the other party was indeed very powerful, and his attainments in the five elements law were very deep. He didn't know what kind of ultimate technique this Han Chong was using. He was very curious about it. Han Chong felt the five elements' power between heaven and earth, and it quickly spread out and charged towards him. The corner of his mouth curled up into a smile. "Very good. You are worthy of my attack." In the next moment, he roared, and his gaze pierced through the void like a divine arrow. There was an extremely terrifying power in his body that exploded and swept out in all directions. This power made many people suck in a breath of cold air. The eyes of the Five Elements Sanctuary's experts also shrank. He was too powerful. Who was the other party? They were very nervous now. Lin Xian let out a cry of surprise as well. This person was so strong. He was truly stunned. Although the Five Elements Saint was powerful, Lin Xian was not concerned. After all, he had fought all the way on the ancient road of the starry sky and returned with a strong momentum. His strength had long surpassed everything. However, the power that exploded from Han Chong's body shocked him. He felt that Han Chong would be able to walk to the end even if he was placed in the Tao debate. Such a person had appeared out of nowhere. Who exactly was he? When the Five Elements Saint sensed the terrifying power coming from the other party, he roared furiously. He did not dare to be careless. Five Elements Palm. He took out an extremely powerful technique as soon as he attacked. The laws revolved around his fingers as he slapped forward. Ice Blade. The laws of ice in Han Chong's hand condensed into a long blue blade, and he slashed it down. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Countless voids were completely shattered by this slash. In the next moment, the two techniques collided. Then, an extremely powerful force exploded. Not good. Run. The surrounding people who were watching the battle frantically retreated because they realized that the arrays that they had set up around them were all shattered. At this moment, many people were sent flying. Lin Xian's figure flickered and retreated into the distance. A golden light appeared in his eyes as he looked forward. His heavenly secret divine eyes saw through everything. Then, he revealed a look of surprise. The other people also retreated to the back and watched nervously. How was it? They did not expect the two of them to use such powerful techniques as soon as they came up. The laws in front of them gradually disappeared, and everyone's eyes widened. They were stunned because they saw a figure standing proudly in front of them. It was Han Chong. The Five Elements Saint's armor was already shattered, and one of his arms was hanging down with blood flowing out. It was obvious that the Five Elements Saint had been defeated in the previous attack. It can't be, right? Another Holy Sun has been defeated? The surrounding people were shocked. The people from the Five Elements Sacred Land also had ugly expressions. The Five Elements Saint's face was pale. He had not expected that he could not even block a single attack. However, this time, Han Chong did not leave immediately like before. Instead, he continued to look forward. There was an even colder light in his eyes. Chapter 43:20. Why? Do you still want to continue fighting? The people from the Five Elements Holy Land looked extremely cold. The other party was going too far. The surrounding spectators were also in an uproar. Because before, Han Chong had defeated two saints and left immediately after the battle. But they didn't expect it to be different this time. They didn't know what the other party was thinking. In the crowd, Lin Xian looked at this scene and was also surprised. That attack just now was so terrifying. Obviously, The other party should have used an extremely powerful divine ability. He was getting more and more interested in this person, and soon he was stunned, and a cold light appeared in his eyes. Han Chong said indifferently, "I heard that 2 people from the 5 Elements Holy Land came to participate in the Tao discussion. Let them come out. I want to fight with them." What was the Tao discussion of the Sage Heavens? All the spectators were stunned. They didn't know anything about it. However, Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Others didn't know, but he knew because he came back to participate in the Tao discussion. But it shouldn't be. This news should only be known by a small number of people. How did the other party know? And was there anyone in the 5 Elements Holy Land? The people from the 5 Elements Holy Land were also cold. Indeed, 2 people had come recently. They were experts from the distant starry sky, and they didn't dare to be negligent. They just didn't expect that Han Chong would want to see these 2 people now. Just as they were thinking, 2 figures walked out from the 5 Elements Holy Land. They were an old man and a young man. As soon as they came out, they attracted the attention of countless people. Who were these 2 people? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. It was them. These 2 people from the 7 Stars Tower had successfully passed the 3rd round of the assessment. He didn't expect these 2 people to be in the 5 Elements Holy Land. But after thinking about it, he understood. Those who could come to the Tao discussion were the top geniuses and experts of the 2nd astral realm. Such people would definitely visit these Holy Land one by one. After all, planet Xiuan was one of the 2 most important stars in the starry sky. These people wouldn't miss it. In fact, he was thinking about the same thing. After the 2 people came out, they asked, "Are you looking for us?" They stared at Han Chong and frowned. They had also been watching the battle earlier, but they had been hiding in the shadows. They hadn't expected Han Chong to be so powerful. Moreover, after he won, he would challenge them. "That's right. I'm looking for you. Come over here." Han Chong's gaze became piercingly cold once again, and an endless amount of ice appeared around him. Everyone felt as if their bodies were about to be frozen. What a terrifying power of ice. The old man from the 7-star tower was stunned. Then, he looked at the person beside him. "Xinghe, go and fight with him." Xinghe nodded and walked forward. He was someone who had participated in the Tao discussion of the Holy Heavens and had successfully made it to the 3rd stage. His strength was definitely beyond everyone's imagination. Sure enough, the surrounding spectators were still wondering who the other party was. However, when they sensed the terrifying aura emitted from Xinghe's body, they all cried out in alarm. So strong. This person's aura was even stronger than the 5 element saints. Just who was he? Han Chong's lips curled up in a smile. "Now that's interesting. I hope you won't disappoint me." Then, he used the ice blade again. With one slash, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The shattered area was instantly frozen. The surrounding spectators cried out in alarm once again. This move had defeated the 5 Elements Saint previously. When the 5 Elements Saint saw this move again, his face turned cold. Would Xinghe be able to block it? That was everyone's doubt. Lin Xian's eyes also emitted a piercingly cold radiance. When Xinghe saw this, he formed a seal with his palms. 7 stars appeared on his body, forming a set of starry battle armor. Then a starry sky map formed in his palms, and he slapped it forward. An incomparably vast power spread out in all directions. This attack was even more powerful than the 5 elements palm print from before. In fact, it was not weaker than the ice blade. Sure enough, when the 2 superpowers collided, they both disappeared. He had actually blocked Han Chong's attack. He was really too strong. The surrounding spectators were stunned. Then, they became excited. They thought that this would be a fierce battle. Xinghe also heaved a sigh of relief after blocking the other party's attack. It seemed that the other party was not undefeatable. Thinking of this, the corners of his mouth curled up into a confident smile. His body swayed, and he quickly charged out. A 7-star sword appeared in his hand. This was not a sacred weapon, but a superpower. It was the 7 Stars Tower's ultimate superpower. The sword light formed by the power of the stars was so powerful that it carried the power of the universe. When the sword slashed out, it was as if the universe had fallen directly. Countless people exclaimed in surprise. This sword was so powerful. Facing such a terrifying attack, Han Chong did not move at all. It seemed that he had no intention of dodging. Everyone was shocked. Was he going to take it head-on? They wondered what kind of superpower it was, because all along, Han Chong had only used the ice blade to end the battle. Now, it seemed that the other party had used another ultimate skill. Sure enough, the other party formed a seal with his palms, and a low voice sounded between heaven and earth. Chilly winter, thousand snowfall. As soon as this voice sounded, the terrifying power of ice and snow quickly spread out. Everyone felt that they were frozen again. This thousand snowfall directly swept out in all directions. The entire world was completely frozen. Everyone widened their eyes in disbelief. They could only pray that this battle would end quickly. So powerful. Lin Xian was shocked. He also felt the power of the ice and snow. He also could not believe it. This ice and snow was a threat to his divine body. The light on his body bloomed and blocked the ice. At the same time, he looked in front of him. In the next moment, he was stunned again. Not long after, the ice and snow in the sky disappeared. At the same time, two figures appeared. Han Chong was still standing there with his hands behind his back. On the other hand, Xing He's face was pale. The 7 stars sword that he had formed had disappeared. Not only that, but a layer of frost had also appeared on his body. It was obvious that he was at a disadvantage in the previous attack. Xing He raised his head with difficulty, and his face became serious. He said, "You won this battle." As soon as this was said, the surrounding people were shocked. Could it be? Now they could see that Xing He was more powerful than the 5-element saint. Moreover, he could survive in the 1000 snowfall. Although his face was pale, it seemed that he was not seriously injured. Such a person could definitely continue to fight. But why did he admit defeat directly? One should know that the more powerful a genius was, the more difficult it was for him to admit defeat. For a moment, everyone was discussing. Chapter 43:21. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he watched. The others might not know, but he could see. With his eye technique, he could see that there was a layer of frost on the other party's body. It should be an internal injury. Han Chong's law of ice was really powerful. Han Chong retracted the law of ice. Then, he muttered to himself, "Who should I look for next?" It seemed like the participants of the Tao discussion weren't that great. The others were shocked. He was too arrogant. He didn't even put the geniuses of the world in his eyes. However, the other party was really strong. Ordinary Chosen would find it hard to suppress him. Who else could it be? The people started to discuss. Xinghe's face turned ugly. He was also a top-notch genius, but he was being looked down upon at this moment. Don't be arrogant. I'm not the strongest in the Tao discussion. There are some who can definitely defeat you. Oh, is that so? Han Chong turned around and asked, "Who do you think they are?" The others were also stunned. They were also very curious. There are too many. I'll just say 2 young ones. Gu Feng from the Gu family is an emperor clan. He's an expert with the law of space. Can you fight against him? The Gu family. When these words were spoken, the surrounding people also cried out in alarm. They also knew that this was an emperor clan. The other party's law of space was really mysterious. The Gu family? Han Chong narrowed his eyes. Then, he asked again, "Who was the second person?" Xinghe gritted his teeth and said, "The second person was called Lin Wudi. He was even stronger." Lin Wudi? Who is this person? Countless people exclaimed. Is he stronger than the Gu family? He dared to use the word Wudi as a title. Isn't he too arrogant? Han Chong also frowned. Lin Wudi was really arrogant. Where is the person you're talking about? I'm very interested in him. How would I know? But he's definitely in this world. Whether you can find him or not depends on your luck. However, I advise you not to look for him because you'll lose miserably. You don't have to worry about that. After saying that, Han Chong turned into a ray of light and disappeared from the world. Did he leave? The surrounding people exclaimed. They didn't know who he was going to challenge next. I'm guessing that he'll be able to sweep his way through. Those holy sons of the Holy Lands will probably have to accept his challenge. That's right. I wonder what happened to the 2 people he mentioned and whether they can be found. When Xinghe heard these words, he shook his head. He did not expect that there would be such a mysterious expert. He prepared to return and recuperate. This was because he had indeed suffered internal injuries. But at this moment, he was taken aback because he saw a figure disappear from the crowd as well. It's him. Xinghe was really shocked. Although he only saw the back of the person, Xinghe recognized who it was. Lin Wudi was here as well. Was the other party really here to watch the battle? He wondered if Lin Wudi would do anything to Han Chong. Lin Xian had no intention of attacking Han Chong. The most important thing now was to find the 9 Qilins. Finally, they arrived at the agreed-upon location. The 9-headed Qilin also came and took out a treasure box. There were 3 pills inside, and the Saint King had 1. Very good. Lin Xian satisfactorily accepted it and said, "You can go back for now. If there's anything else, I'll tell you." Yes. The 9-headed Qilin respectfully left. Lin Xian was very happy. Including the one in his hand, he now had 4 Saint King wills. After giving one to Samsara Protector, he could go to the buried Emperor's Star. As for the remaining ones, he could cultivate and absorb them himself. He was not in a hurry to go back. He prepared to go to the Jade Lake. The Jade Lake was very lively at this moment. After all, the people of the Kunlun Pavilion were here. Lin Xian's arrival made Morong Qingqing very happy. The people of the Jade Lake also came out to welcome him. They knew that this was the palace master of the Immortal Palace, the peerless genius of the Central Emperor's Star. Lin Xian greeted the elders of the Kunlun Pavilion and then left with Morong Qingqing. They were taking a stroll near the Jade Lake. Lin Xian asked, "Did the Jade Lake face any challenges recently?" Morong Qingqing shook his head. Then, he was surprised. Lin Xian said, "When I came, I saw a mysterious expert who continuously challenged the Holy Lands and was very strong. Often, he could defeat a saint in one move. The saint, a young genius from the 7-star tower, had been injured by the other party in 2 moves. Is he so powerful?" Morong Qingqing was also surprised. "Do you know where he came from? Is he a new rising star in the true spirit world?" "I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it." Lin Xian said that he knew about the Holy Heavens Tao debate. "If he comes to challenge the Jade Lake, tell the people of the Jade Lake to be careful." Morong Qingqing nodded. "I know. I'll send someone to investigate." Soon, someone sent news. Indeed, there was a person called Han Chong who rarely came to the Jade Lake. However, he had not challenged the Jade Lake yet. Who was this person? Morong Qingqing decided to ask. He brought Lin Xian to see the Jade Lake Sacred Master. The Jade Lake Sacred Master was a middle-aged woman. After the great changes in the world, her strength had also broken through to the Sage realm. Moreover, some of the Jade Lake's foundations and living fossils had also started to awaken. It could be said that their foundations were very strong. When Morong Qingqing asked, the Jade Lake Sacred Master's eyes flickered. She said, "We've also heard about this matter. I've analyzed it with the other Grand Elders, and we think that he might be from a place." "Where?" Lin Xian was also surprised. Could he be from the second astral realm? The second astral realm was incomparably vast. There might be some hidden geniuses who did not participate in the Tao debate and came here instead. However, the Jade Lake Sacred Master shook her head. "Lin Gongzi is not from the second astral realm. We think that he might be from the heavenly abode." Heavenly abode. Morong Qingqing frowned, but Lin Xian's pupils shrank. This was not the first time he had heard of this name. He had met the people from the heavenly abode before. They were very arrogant. However, their strength and abilities were very strong. Lin Xian had been very curious about the heavenly abode. Now, he had met the people from the heavenly abode again. He hurriedly asked, "Senior, what is the origin of this heavenly abode? Which starry sky is it in?" The Jade Lake Sacred Master said that the heavenly abode was in the buried Emperor Star. He should be someone from the hidden Emperor Star. What? The buried Emperor Star? Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing sucked in a breath of cold air. That was their ultimate goal. They had not expected that someone from that world would come here directly. No wonder this guy was so strong. If he came from the buried Emperor Star, then it could be explained. Because there were 2 special stars in the universe. Besides their primordial star, there was the buried Emperor Star. primordial star was still recovering. As for the buried Emperor's star, it was most likely a holy land for martial cultivators. The strength of that place was definitely unimaginable. However, what surprised Lin Xian was that the people from the buried Emperor's star could come here so easily. Chapter 43:22. The Jade Lake Sacred Master said, "This matter was a little complicated. I'll simply say that the primordial star and the buried Emperor's star used to be the same world in the ancient era. However, they were later separated into two worlds. Thus, the connection between the two is not something that ordinary people can think of." The moment these words came out, Lin Xian was astonished as well. "So, it was a world?" The Jade Lake Sacred Leader nodded. "You'll go to the buried Emperor's star in a year. At that time, you'll know that the sacred grounds and sects here also exist in the buried Emperor's star. It could even be said that they were of the same origin. However, due to certain reasons, they couldn't easily go to the buried Emperor's star. Of course, it would be easier for people to go to the buried Emperor's star. However, it was only relatively easy. It was impossible for just anyone to go there. They would have to pay a certain price. However, every time the sacred heavens discussed the Tao, the buried Emperor's star would send some disciples of the paradise over to gain experience. This Hanchong should be one of the people who came over to gain experience. Apart from him, there might be other people. Lin Xian took a deep breath. So that's how it was. He then asked, "Have those people who went to the buried Emperor's star returned? Have those sacred kings gone there?" The Jade Lake Sacred Leader said that some sacred kings had gone there. Of course, there were also some who hadn't. Furthermore, the majority of those who had gone to the buried Emperor's star had not returned. Only a small portion of them were willing to return. Actually, Lin Xian understood this point. The buried Emperor's star was a place where the martial Tao was even more terrifying. Perhaps if they stayed there, they would be able to walk further on the martial Tao. Thus, those people had all chosen to stay there. Following this, Lin Xian asked a few more questions before leaving. He and Murong Qingcheng left the main hall and walked outside. However, at this moment, a change occurred. The void suddenly split open and a terrifying killing intent swept out in all directions. Sensing this aura, Lin Xian and Murong Qingcheng's expressions changed. What a terrifying killing intent. Was the mortal world's killing sage here again? Damn it, the other party actually dared to make a move here? Lin Xian roared. His 9-yang divine body shone brightly, forming a golden giant that enveloped him and Murong Qingcheng. With a clang, the terrifying precepts bombarded the golden giant, emitting an earth-shattering sound. What was shocking was that this sword strike actually pierced through the golden giant. How terrifying. The killer saint sent this time was even scarier. Damn it, Lin Xian was furious. Were these people still not giving up? To think that they would chase him all the way here. He punched out, causing the sky and earth in front of him to shatter. However, that figure was extremely terrifying. It flew out from another space, and then saw the black hand and grabbed it. That hand was extremely terrifying. In the center of his palm, there was a black rune that looked like a black hole. It was emitting an extremely cold and gloomy energy. Lin Xian coldly snorted and used the law of death to resist. On the other side, Murong Qingcheng was also under attack. A killer sword pierced towards her glabella. An illusion of Kunlun Mountain appeared on her body and directly flew out. The killer sword was repelled. On the other side, Lin Xian also repelled the enemy. His eyes were emitting a cold light. In the sky, the heavenly secret divine eyes appeared and looked down. "Qingcheng, he's behind you," Lin Xian reminded. Murong Qingcheng flipped her hand and used Kunlun Slash. The void shattered, and a figure instantly disappeared like lightning. How dare you come and kill us now? You really overestimate yourself." Lin Xian's eyes were filled with a cold killing intent. 10 precepts appeared around him, forming the 10 ultimate swords formation. It seemed that he was about to explode. On the other side, Murong Qingcheng also formed Kunlun Mountain and swept in all directions. However, at this moment, 2 figures appeared between heaven and earth. The 2 of them were expressionless, but a hint of determination appeared in their eyes. They took out 2 killer swords and drew extremely terrifying patterns on them. Then, they bloomed with incomparable light. Oh no, these are forbidden weapons. Lin Xian was shocked. Did these two guys not want to live anymore? The two forbidden weapons exploded between heaven and earth. The two of them were instantly torn into pieces and turned into a bloody mist. Under this power, nothing could withstand it. With a loud boom, the terrifying power enveloped Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing. This power was naturally shocking. The people in the distance, the people from Jade Lake instantly flew back. However, they did not dare to get close. Damn it, what's going on? Why is there a battle here? The people from Kunlun Pavilion also came out and frowned. The Jade Lake sacred leader came out personally and looked in all directions. This killing intent was clearly that of a frightening killing saint. The people from Kunlun Pavilion narrowed their eyes. The Kunlun sacred leader said, "Will Qingqing be in danger?" This was the power of a forbidden weapon. Oh no! The two sage kings attacked and directly tore through the void, sending the power into the spatial crack. In the next moment, they saw a pagoda floating in front of them, blocking everything. The pagoda disappeared and Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing appeared. Their faces were cold and gloomy. If not for the great sage pagoda, they would be in real danger now. The power of a forbidden weapon was not inferior to a sage king's attack. At this moment, a sickle flew out from the void and directly split heaven and earth. Then, the two of them fell to the ground. They were split in half and their blood stained the ground. Lin Xian frowned. There was someone else? These two people also had forbidden weapons on them. Moreover, a strange rune flashed between their eyebrows and hid all of their aura. Even Lin Xian hadn't been able to detect it. He felt a lingering fear. Who was the one who did it? He turned his head to look. An old man appeared in the sky. He was dressed in cotton clothes and held a sickle in his hand. The sickle was covered in rust. It was like a sickle used to farm in the fields. It was too ordinary, but its attack was earth-shattering. Who was this old man? Lin Xian was shocked. The Jade Lake Sacred Master and the Kunlun Sacred King also looked over. Then, the two said, "Many thanks for helping." The gray-robed old man in the sky did not say anything. He even instantly disappeared. Lin Xian also looked at the sky and cupped his fists in thanks, thanking Senior for helping. Then, he asked, "Senior Kunlun, who is this?" "The deity Dao Union." The Kunlun Sacred King said sullenly. When Lin Xian heard this, he was shocked as well. People from the deity Dao Union? They had actually come here as well? Lin Xian felt danger. As the sage heavenly Dao debate started, people from the mortal realm appeared one after another. Even the deity Dao Union appeared. The Kunlun Sacred King said that the deity Dao Union was an extremely mysterious existence. They would protect some of the peak outstanding talents from being assassinated by the people of the mortal realm. At the same time, they would do their best to eliminate these killing sages in the mortal realm. Without the deity Dao Union, the number of geniuses that died would be several times higher. Chapter 43-23. Naturally, Lin Xian understood this point. Without the deity Dao Union, he would probably have been killed already, right? Murong Qingqing's expression turned cold as well. What kind of existence is this mortal realm? Could it be that they are spread throughout the 10,000 realms? Qingqing, you are right. They are indeed spread throughout the 10,000 realms. Furthermore, they specifically seek out absolute geniuses, especially those who will break through and become sage kings. People who will break through and become sage kings. Murong Qingqing sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Xian also frowned. Why is it like this? The Jade Lake Sacred Master said that it was already pretty good for an ordinary world to have a sage. Even in the current two astral realms, when the sage heavens discussed the Tao, the strongest was only a sage king. People above the Saint King realm would not appear. Lin Xian understood this point. Indeed, he had not seen many people above Sage King. However, Black Mountain was the remnant soul of a great sage and could not be considered a true great sage. Hence, the birth of a new Sage King was a huge matter for these astral realms. Hence, some people did not wish for a new Sage King to appear. Or rather, They only wished for a sage king to appear on their side. It would be best if there were no sage kings for others. When Lin Xian heard this, he frowned. It looks like the mortal realm is actually planning something shocking. The Kunlun Holy King also said, "Indeed, we have investigated it before. However, after so many years, we have not been able to find out where the mortal realm is. What members do they have? However, based on our analysis, the mortal realm is not a fixed world. Even their members have many identities. Perhaps, the people around you could also be people of this world. As long as you wear the mask of the Sage Killer, you will be able to do so. The mortal realm is indeed mysterious. This way, we will not know who joined the mortal realm. Perhaps this is why the mortal realm can exist for so many years without being destroyed." The Kunlun Holy Master said, "You should be targeted. Do you want to send some people to protect you?" Lin Xian said, "Many thanks, Senior. There is no need. These assassins are just rats in the dark. They are not worth mentioning." Following this, Lin Xian prepared to return. After bidding farewell to Morong Qingqing and the others, he soared into the sky and left the Jade Lake. Then, he flew all the way. His speed was extremely fast. However, 2 days later, he still frowned. Through the heavenly fortune god eyes, he could feel a vague aura locking onto him. Needless to say, they should be people from the human world. Earlier, the deity Dao Union had already come out. Yet, the other party was still so reckless, daring to come and kill him. Furthermore, from the looks of it, this person should be a late-stage holy venerate. Come to think of it, he must be very powerful. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. Since they wanted to kill him, he wouldn't hold back. Lin Xian slowed down and descended. It seemed like he wanted to rest. He pretended to let his guard down and waited for his opponent to make a move. Sure enough, a terrifying bolt of lightning descended from the sky. The other party attacked him. However, Lin Xian had long since been prepared for this, and he instantly dodged. At the same time, he activated his heavenly fate divine eyes. With a clang, a jade pendant in the air shattered into pieces. This assassin revealed a cold smile. He had long known that Lin Xian's soul was strong, so he had been defending. Indeed, the soul-protecting medallion that the assassin took out shattered. However, so what? The assassin believed that he could destroy the other party in one move. In the next moment, the assassin raised the saber in his hand. However, at this moment, Lin Xian took out a leaf and waved it gently. Immediately, the surroundings changed drastically. What's going on? The expression of this late-stage, holy venerate assassin changed. The assassin felt an intense suppression on his soul. Damn it! Am I still caught in an illusion? How can this be? Didn't I already block the other party's eye technique? Lin Xian smiled coldly. Do you think that it is easy for you to kill me? Today, I will let you know what despair is. Oh no! This old man felt his hair stand on end. His figure flashed as he quickly retreated. At the same time, the assassin swung the saber in his hand, trying to flee. However, this was an illusion world. Where could the other party flee to? It was useless. Lin Xian formed hand seals, and a terrifying force sent the other party flying. In this place, I am the ruler. You cannot resist. Kneel down. With this command, that old man felt a pair of large hands pressing down on him from the air. He could not resist at all. Damn it! I was too careless. The assassin had not expected the other party to be so strong. Lin Xian landed, and a smile appeared on his face. I'll give you a choice. Tell me the secret of your mortal world, and I'll give you a quick death. Brat, it's useless. You can forget about getting any information from me here. That old man smiled coldly. Just wait. The mortal world will be your nightmare for life. You will fall one day. After saying that, the old man looked up and laughed coldly. Lin Xian's expression sank. It looks like you are really reckless. Xiao Qin formed a hand seal, and all sorts of terrifying soul attacks immediately charged over. That old man roared endlessly. Do you think that I can't do anything if you don't tell me? Lin Xian's gaze was cold as it enveloped the other party. Collecting information from souls was not a difficult task for him. However, that old man roared at the sky. Lin Xian frowned. In the next moment, he put away the illusion leaf and retreated into the distance. That old man's body suddenly split open, and an extremely terrifying destructive force swept out in all directions. There was no difference between this power and using a forbidden weapon. When the energy disappeared, Lin Xian landed on the ground again. He looked around and found that there was nothing left. Xiao Chun snorted coldly. Just now, it was not the other party who used a forbidden weapon, but he probed into the other party's soul to find out the secret. In the end, he found that there was a seal in the other party's soul. It should be the seal left behind by the even more terrifying sage ruler in the mortal world. It sealed all the secrets of the mortal world. Lin Xian forcefully probed, which was why the energy just now happened. There were indeed many tricks in the mortal world. Lin Xian snorted coldly. It seemed that it was impossible to figure out the identity of these people. His figure flickered, and he was ready to leave. In the next moment, his body trembled because he felt that there was some poison in his body that seemed to be sealing his power. Was he poisoned? When? Lin Xian was shocked. In the next moment, he hurriedly activated the great dragon sword soul. At the same time, a golden light appeared in his eyes and swept in all directions. Sure enough, he saw 5 more figures walking towards them. Lin Wudi was indeed strong. No wonder he could kill so many of them. However, no matter how strong you are, you will definitely die today. Let's see how you can escape after being poisoned by me. A figure appeared. He was also wearing a cold mask, and it was impossible to tell who he was. However, his voice was filled with an endless chill. Chapter 43-24. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. He had to admit that the poison used by the other party was very terrifying. Those below the sage ruler level could not withstand it at all. However, he was an exception. The great dragon sword soul had already annihilated everything inside. Therefore, he was completely fine now. However, he did not attack immediately. Instead, he pretended to be injured and poisoned and said, "Damn it. When did you poison me? Fine, I'll let you die quickly." The black-robed man sneered. "When the energy exploded just now, we already poisoned you, so you won't be far from death." Hearing this, Lin Xian was also surprised. He really did not notice that at that time, he was only focused on avoiding the energy. Who would have thought that there was poison in the air? There were indeed many tricks in the human world. If it were another late-stage sage venerable, they would have probably gone to hell by now. "All right, kid, you've said so much. It's time to send you on your way." The black-robed man pulled out his long sword and walked over. There was a biting, cold, murderous intent in his eyes. In the next moment, he suddenly slashed out with his sword. Suddenly, a sharp, murderous intent appeared between heaven and earth and slashed fiercely toward Lin Xian. Facing such a terrifying attack, the poisoned person could not dodge at all. However, Lin Xian abruptly lifted his head as the corners of his mouth curled into a cold smile. In the next moment, he formed a hand seal and slapped out with the man-ruler seal. Boom! An earth-shattering sound was heard, and the black-robed man was directly sent flying. His body was torn into pieces, and his eyes were wide open. How was that possible? His face was full of disbelief. Did the other party have such powerful strength? Could it be that the other party was not poisoned? Damn it! The 4 around him were also stunned. What was going on? They looked at each other. Lin Xian stood up. "You're the ones who should go to hell." He waved his hand and slapped out another man-ruler seal, directly killing the black-robed man. Boom! The black-robed man did not even have time to make a sound before his astral soul was destroyed. When the 4 sage killers saw this scene, their faces turned cold. However, they did not dodge. Instead, they shouted angrily and charged over. Spirit Extermination Array. The 4 of them formed a formation. With a violent and destructive power, they rushed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a stomp of his foot, he charged out like a god of war. When the attacks landed on his body, they produced thunderous sounds. However, it was unable to break through his defense. He came to the front and slammed out his man-ruler seal once again. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. 4 people were blasted back, and one of them was directly blasted apart. Lin Xian used the 10 absolute swords and slashed out. The other person was cleaved in half, and blood filled the sky. At this moment, Lin Xian was like the god of death, extremely powerful. The faces of the few people around him turned extremely ugly. Damn it! How could his opponent be so strong? Use poison. One of them roared and immediately took out a black bottle. Terrifying poisonous gas flew out from it. This poisonous gas was transparent. It could not be seen at all. In fact, it could not even be sensed. Previously, it was because of this that Lin Xian was poisoned. However, he was already prepared for it. Dragon-shaped sword chi revolved around his body, forming an armor-like defense that blocked all the poison. As for Lin Xian, he swung the Tiger Demon Fist, Army Destroyer. With a punch, he could wipe out 1,000 soldiers. Of the 4 Sage Killers, 2 were instantly killed. The other 2 were also in a very sorry state. Run. They knew that their opponent was too strong. With such terrifying poison, a late-stage Holy Venerate would not be able to resist it. However, nothing happened to their opponent. This made them realize that it was impossible to kill him today. Therefore, the 2 of them quickly fled. You want to leave now? Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, 2 lightning dragons flew out. They extended for hundreds of thousands of miles and directly covered a part of the sky. Damn it! One of them took out a forbidden artifact and directly tore it apart. Terrifying energy rumbled and swept towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's figure flashed, and he disappeared. He used the void escape technique. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the 2 people. He swung the 10 absolute swords, and the 2 heads flew up. Damn it! The souls of those 2 assassins flew out, burning continuously. Brat, let's die together. Evil Spirit Song. The 2 people's souls roared in different directions in the sky, turning into a strange sound. Space and time tore apart. The black Great Dao danced around like musical notes. Lin Xian felt a chill run down his spine. He quickly retreated, his complexion even paling. His soul was suppressed. In the next moment, Lin Xian snorted coldly and activated his heavenly secret divine eye. His heavenly secret divine soul clashed with those black talisman scripts, creating extremely terrifying cracks. How terrifying! These people actually grasped such a magic skill? Lin Xian's expression turned cold. He could tell that this was a magic skill that would cause mutual destruction. It used one's own soul as the price to form an extremely terrifying sound of destruction. This way, the people who were killed would not be able to revive themselves. In fact, they would disappear into thin air and would not even be able to enter the cycle of reincarnation. These people in the human world were really ruthless. Lin Xian snorted coldly. These people had used special methods, so he would not hold back. In an instant, he took out the great spear of destruction, and the demonic chi on it erupted. It swept across the area. At this moment, he seemed to have transformed into a peerless demon god. With a single strike, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Oh no, it's the weapon of a Saint King. The souls of those 2 people were already very weak at this moment. Seeing this scene, a cold, murderous intent appeared in their eyes. Then, the remaining souls completely dissipated between heaven and earth. It formed a black bell that kept ringing. It flew down and collided with the great spear of destruction. It destroyed everything. Lin Xian roared and attacked with all his might. In the end, he shattered the black bell. However, Lin Xian was also affected. Even though his soul was powerful, such an extremely terrifying method still injured him. He spat out a mouthful of blood. His expression was extremely cold as he looked around. When he realized that there was no one around, he left. When he returned to the Immortal Palace, the people of the Immortal Palace exclaimed, "Palace Master, are you injured?" They were really shocked. Who was it? Their eyes shone with a piercing light. It's fine. It's just some assassins. I've already taken care of them. Prepare a secret chamber for me. I'm going into seclusion. After Lin Xian entered the secret chamber, he sat down and began to heal his injuries. After he was done, Peacock walked up and said, "Palace Master, the old Palace Master is looking for you." After hearing this, Lin Xian let out a look of surprise. The old palace master? That was Xia Juyo. Was he already back? One must know that Lin Xian knew that this old man's strength was extremely terrifying. It was at an unimaginable level. Therefore, he hurriedly let Peacock lead the way. Chapter 43-25. The place where the immortal palace was located was very big and boundless. They passed through countless palaces. After crossing mountains and rivers, they finally arrived at a quiet valley. There was an old man inside. He was pruning some spirit fruits. At this moment, he sensed that someone had arrived and turned his head. Lin Xian and Peacock stopped outside the valley. Peacock said, "Palace Master, the old Palace Master is inside. I'll be outside. If you need anything, just call me." After saying that, he stood to the side. Lin Xian nodded and walked in. In the valley, Xia Juyo smiled and said, "You're here." Lin Xian looked at him and discovered that he was even older than before. He asked, "Old Xia, is your body okay?" "Don't worry, I'm old and not as strong as before. However, I won't die for a while." Xia Juyo smiled and said, "I heard that you had a big battle with someone." Lin Xian nodded and said, "The people of the human realm are haunting me and have been trying to assassinate me." Hearing that, Xia Juyo's eyes flickered and he said, "Be careful. Be careful. The human realm has been very active recently. Moreover, I'm guessing that before the buried Emperor Star opens, before the opening time, they should be doing something even bigger. Perhaps they're targeting you." "Old Xia, do you know what secrets there are in the human realm?" Lin Xian felt that the old man in front of him should know. However, Xia Juyo sighed. "I do know a little, but I can't tell you. I can only say that you have to be careful. There are some things that you'll know when you reach the buried Emperor Star." "All right." Lin Xian nodded. Xia Juyo said, "Right, I heard that you've been abandoned by the immortals." Lin Xian nodded again. "Yes, I'm abandoned by the immortals, but I still control the immortal palace." "It's really ironic," Xia Juyo said. "Actually, the situation isn't like what you think. The reason why the immortal palace is called Immortal Palace is because it was decided back then, and I've been using it all these years. However, I feel that it's time to change it. Why don't we change it to Divine Palace?" Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. Change the name. Immortal Palace, Divine Palace. Although there was only a difference of one word, the meaning behind it was extraordinary. For example, he was a person who had been abandoned by immortals, but there were Taoists who were helping him. This matter is settled. Announce it when you go out. From now on, you are the temple master of the temple. Lin Xian then asked about his father, Lin Zhan, and Lord Jiu. In the end, he found out that these people had already left for the buried Emperor Star. Even Xia Juyo would be going there in the future. After chatting for about half a day, Lin Xian left. He could sense that Xia Juyo's condition wasn't very good. Clearly, he had expended quite a bit of energy earlier. 3 days later, Lin Xian received a message. The valley that Xia Juyo was in required a large amount of top-grade divine crystals. It seemed like this old senior wanted to use the divine crystal to seal him. Could it be that it had already reached such a stage? Lin Xian was also nervous. She was going to handle this matter personally. Xia Juyo said, "Don't worry, little guy. I can still hold on. However, I do need to sleep for a period of time. These divine crystals are enough for me." The boundless divine crystals were like ice and snow, sealing his body. They provided him with a large amount of vitality and power. Lin Xian took out 2 interspatial rings. Inside them were the spirit fruits he had obtained in the ancient battlefield. These spirit fruits had matured for who knew how many tens of thousands of years. They also contained a large amount of vitality. Thus, he left them behind for Xia Juyo. Then, he left the valley. He returned to the Tao Immortal Palace and announced that the Tao Immortal Palace had become a temple master. In an instant, countless people were in an uproar. When the Jade Lake Sacred Master and the others heard this, their eyes flickered. In the following period of time, it was even more restless. There were a few rising geniuses who swept through the 4 directions, challenging the experts and saints of various places. In an instant, the world was shocked. At the same time, several experts from the various sacred lands came to pay a visit. These new rising geniuses should have come from the buried Emperor Star to gain experience. As for the people who came to pay a visit, they should be the sacred kings and sacred sovereigns who had come from the second astral realm to participate in the Tao debate. However, on this day, there was a shocking piece of news. It turned out that a great battle had occurred in the eastern wilderness, and it had alarmed everyone. This was because this was a great battle between sacred kings. Saint kings were existences that currently stood at the peak. No one could be stronger than a saint king. Thus, a battle between sacred kings naturally alarmed countless people. However, a battle of this level was too powerful. The two people's attacks had shattered countless mountains and rivers. Thus, the two people had come to the starry sky to fight. The others couldn't see it clearly at all. They could only feel the powerful energy coming from the nine heavens. At this moment, countless sacred lands were incomparably shocked. Was this the aura of a sacred king? They sucked in a cold breath. Although the true spirit world was rapidly recovering, everyone's strength had increased greatly. Many people had even broken through to become saints. However, not every sacred land had a sacred king. Only a few sacred lands and monarch clans that had been passed down from the ancient era existed. These saint kings were also sealed from the divine crystals. Thus, under normal circumstances, they wouldn't consume their energy. Thus, they didn't participate in this battle. Instead, they just watched. Lin Xian was cultivating in the immortal palace. On this day, Peacock walked over quickly. He knelt on one knee and said, "Palace Master, something bad has happened." Lin Xian opened his eyes and asked, "What's wrong?" Peacock said that he had received news that a great battle between sacred kings had broken out in the eastern wilderness. The two sides were Peerless Sacred King and Silver Corpse Sacred King. What? Lin Xian stood up abruptly. Senior brother and the Acheron Hall had started a battle? His expression became extremely ugly, because he knew that the Acheron Hall was despicable and shameless. Since they had started a battle, it couldn't be just Silver Corpse Sacred King. Would the others make a move as well? His expression became incomparably cold. Go, prepare the spatial array. We're going to be teleported directly to the eastern wilderness. Peacock hurriedly got to work. On the other hand, Lin Xian informed Linghu Chueshue, Fu Hongye, and the others. These people gathered together and asked, "Young Uncle Master, what happened?" Lin Xian said that Senior Brother and Silver Corpse Sacred King had a great battle in the eastern wilderness. "I'm worried that the situation has changed. I'll go and take a look. You all should stay here." "No, we're going," Linghu Chueshue said. The others also nodded. How could they stay here when something like this happened? Xin Xian frowned. He said that a great battle between sacred kings would be very dangerous. "I'm afraid that you all will be affected." Linghu said, "Young Uncle Master, don't worry. They usually don't attack young people. The previous time they attacked you was a sneak attack. As for the others, they didn't know. This time, so many sacred kings had descended to this world. They didn't have the guts to do so." Chapter 43:26. Fu Hongye agreed. Indeed, if a sage king disobeyed the rules, he would be opposed by all the other sage cities. After all, every sage city had a large number of disciples. If a sage king attacked these juniors, the sage city would probably cease to exist. "All right," Lin Xian nodded. "Follow me to the teleportation array." They were teleported to the eastern wilderness. After arriving at the eastern wilderness, they could feel that the entire eastern wilderness was enveloped by a powerful energy. It came from the nine heavens. Clearly, the two sides were fighting in the starry sky. They could feel the terrifying aura in the sky. Lin Xian and the others' faces were unusually cold. Had the battle already begun? They looked up and saw that the sky of the eastern wilderness was covered by the yellow spring. On the other side, there was endless sword qi. Was this the attack of a sage king? It was too powerful. Lin Xian and the others were shocked. Even if they were standing on the ground, they could not get closer. It seemed that they could only watch the battle from here. Lin Xian unleashed the heavenly secret god eyes, forming a terrifying gaze of a heavenly god that could see through everything. He projected what he saw into the void in front of him for everyone to see. Lin Xian was very shocked. A battle between Sage Kings was too terrifying. Sage King's silver corpse activated the yellow spring gourd and shot out a beam of light with a terrifying sound. A destructive energy burst out and swept out in all directions. The starry sky outside the region was instantly shattered, and endless cracks appeared. Even the nearby stars were shattered. Sage King Wushuang waved the unparalleled sword and shot out a shocking sword chi. It was as if there were worlds pressing down, colliding with the yellow spring Dao diagram. Every strike could destroy a world. Lin Xian also had a Sage King weapon, and he had fought with those young people before. It was a battle between Sage King weapons. However, compared to a Sage King's battle, they were pitifully weak. Such weapons could only be unleashed in the hands of a true Sage King. Both sides fought fiercely. At this moment, endless black runes appeared on Sage King Wushuang's body and swept out in all directions, devouring everything. The yellow spring Dao diagram was swallowed up. Another piercing sword light flew over. Linghu Chueshue and the others cried out in surprise. Were they going to win? However, at that moment, a long saber descended from the sky and smashed the sword apart. As a result, the sword slashed down into the void and split a star in half. Desolate blade was from the great desolate mansion. Shangguan Shaoxian exclaimed. Lin Xian's face darkened. It seemed like Saint King Huang Tian had made his move. Damn it! Linghu Chueshue and the others shouted angrily. However, it was useless. The Saint Kings fighting in the outer realm couldn't hear them. Even if they did, the Silver Corpse Saint King wouldn't care. I didn't expect you to be so powerful to be able to suppress the Yellow Springs Dao diagram. But now that there are two of us, do you think you can still survive? The flat Silver Corpse Saint King smiled coldly. On the other side, Desolate Heaven Saint King walked over and blocked Peerless Saint King's path. Today is the day you die. The desolate blade in his hand exploded with an incomparably terrifying aura. Just the two of you? He was overestimating himself. Peerless Saint King roared into the sky. The devouring law on his body exploded once again, and a terrifying black vortex swirled towards the Silver Corpse Saint King. At the same time, he slashed his sword towards Desolate Heaven Saint King. It seemed like Peerless Saint King was going to take on the two Saint Kings alone. How arrogant! How reckless! The two Saint Kings were furious. Neither of them was weaker than Peerless Saint King, and they couldn't kill each other even if they joined forces. The Silver Corpse Saint King emitted an unparalleled radiance. His physique was also extremely strong. His entire body seemed to have turned into a sharp sword and split the void to fight against the devouring vortex. On the other side, Desolate Heaven Saint King soared into the sky and waved the desolate blade in his hand as he slashed it forward. The desolate blade continued to grow in size, as if it had turned into a long rainbow that was 10,000 zhang long. It pressed down from the sky. Boom, boom. Peerless sword chi danced and swept across the 9 heavens. It broke through everything and blocked the desolate blade. The two of them clashed in the sky, and countless Dao laws shot out in all directions. The starry sky was completely destroyed. An intense battle broke out. Above the 9 heavens, all sorts of Dao laws revolved and swallowed everything. This happened in the extraterritorial starry sky. Otherwise, even in a special world like planet Shiyuan in the eastern wilderness, the mountains and rivers would have been destroyed. Boom! The boundless yellow spring water surged as if it was a real yellow spring hell. Countless netherworld puppets walked out from inside, forming a terrifying netherworld army that charged towards Peerless Saint King. Peerless Saint King snorted. Countless rays of devouring light surrounded him and swallowed the yellow spring army. At that moment, the starlight between heaven and earth disappeared. However, the yellow spring army that was swallowed appeared again. This time, a yellow spring figure appeared. This figure was not simple. It was the yellow spring Saint King who had spent thousands of years nurturing it. The cold and gloomy aura that he exuded was terrifying. With a roar, the figure soared into the sky and charged towards Peerless Saint King. Peerless Saint King snorted. He flipped his hand and took out a treasure bottle. He poured out a few drops of blood-red light. He placed it on his palm and slapped it out. Boom! The slap landed on the yellow spring figure, causing it to roar crazily. The yellow spring figure was so powerful that even Saint Kings were shocked. However, under the attack of the blood-red palm, black smoke rose from its body and the remaining figure quickly melted. It seemed to be greatly restrained. Damn it! Is that the blood of the sun? Silver Corpse Saint King's face turned ugly. He had spent 5,000 years to condense this yellow spring figure. It was extremely cold and gloomy, able to sweep away everything. However, its biggest nemesis was the power of the sun. However, it was extremely difficult to find such a thing. Even Lin Xian's 9 young divine body could not do it because it was not mature enough. However, he did not expect that. Peerless Saint King had such a thing in his hand. It was able to restrain his yellow spring figure with just one attack. At the same time, the devouring vortex flew out again. On the other side, Peerless Saint King charged towards Desolate Heaven Saint King. Desolate Heaven Saint King roared as countless canyons appeared behind him. Figures appeared in the canyons one after another. The Desolate Summoning. It was extremely powerful in the hands of Desolate Heaven Saint King. The figures that he had summoned were much more powerful than the other geniuses. Moreover, there were so many of them that it made one's scalp go numb. These figures that appeared between the heavens and earth brandished their terrifying ultimate skills as they charged forward at high speed. Humph! Peerless Saint King snorted and slashed with his unparalleled sword. A terrifying light illuminated the entire starry sky. Then, the figures that were summoned were shattered into pieces. They turned into ashes. Peerless Saint King was not at a disadvantage, even though he was fighting against 2 of them. It was shocking. Some of the Saint Kings who were watching the battle were stunned. The law of Devour was simply too powerful. Lin Xian and the others were also shocked. They heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like the situation was still favorable for them. If this continued, Peerless Saint King would not be in any danger. However, their pupils shrank as soon as they finished speaking. A ray of light flew out from the sky and sent Peerless Saint King flying. Chapter 43:27. The sudden change stunned Lin Xian and the others. Ling Hu Chueshue and the others exclaimed, "What happened? Why was their master injured?" They were really too surprised. This shouldn't be happening. Suddenly, Lin Xian's eyes narrowed. Oh no, another Sage King has joined the battle. What? Fu Hongye and the others' faces darkened. A third Sage King has joined the fray? Damn it, who is it? Through the light screen in front of them, they saw a figure. It was a figure standing in the 9 heavens. The sword chi on his body was unparalleled. It was the Sword King of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, the Ghost Deity Sword King. Many people's faces darkened. Humph! The Silver Corpse Sage King sneered. Wu Shuang, do you still have the right to resist? With the 3 of us attacking together, you'll definitely die. Wu Shuang Sage King walked out of the void. There was a sword mark on his body. It was disappearing quickly. The boundless law of devouring devoured the sword scar directly. His face was pale, but his eyes were even colder. Let's do it and get rid of him. The Ghost Deity Sword King said coldly. He then waved the Ghost Deity Sword in his hand, unleashing a terrifying sword chi towards Wu Shuang Sage King. The sword chi was too cold. It was enough to destroy everything. At the same time, the Silver Corpse Sage King and the Desolate Heaven Sage King worked together to attack Wu Shuang Sage King. Boom! The Desolate Heaven Sage King roared, summoning the canyon and enveloping Wu Shuang Sage King. At the same time, a terrifying destructive chi surged, trying to suppress Wu Shuang Sage King. Wu Shuang Sage King roared, "Devour." His law of engulfment continued to surge and absorb rapidly. The black vortex grew bigger and bigger. In the end, the entire desolate canyon was swallowed up. At the same time, Wu Shuang Sage King roared and slashed the sky. He flew into the distance. Damn it! The Desolate Heaven Sage King spat out a mouthful of blood, his face turning pale. The Silver Corpse Sage King said, "Chase after him." This time, his soul would be destroyed. The 3 of them turned into streams of light and disappeared into the starry sky. Not good. They couldn't see anything. Ling Hu Chueshue and the others were shocked. Xian also shook his head and sighed. Even his heavenly fate divine eyes couldn't detect anything. Even the other saint rulers who were watching in the dark sucked in a deep breath. They wondered how the battle was going. While Ling Hu Chueshue was worried, the skies suddenly shattered. Countless terrifying auras of desolation descended and enveloped them. Instantly, the expressions of Ling Hu Chueshue and the others changed. The reason for that was because that aura was simply too frightening. He had surpassed the Saint Venerable. This was the aura of a Saint King. A Saint King had attacked them. Damn it! Who is it? Lin Xian's eyes also burst with a piercing light as he punched the void. Countless laws of desolation filled the air. A figure suddenly appeared above the 9 heavens. It's you. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He discovered that the one who had come out was Saint King Desolate Heaven. The other party revealed a cold smile. Damn it, do you dare to attack us? Fu Hongye roared. Don't forget the Saint King's rules. If you dare to make a move, you will be punished by all the Saint Kings. Ling Hu Chueshue said coldly. Saint King Desolate Heaven sneered. A bunch of ants? Do you dare to go against me? I can destroy all of you with a wave of my hand. And you, do you think that Wushuang City will still exist from now on? Don't be naive. Today, Saint King Wushuang will definitely die. Once he dies, your holy city will also be reduced to ashes. Do you think that someone will stand up for you for a saint city that will soon cease to exist? Is that so? Then you can try. I can guarantee that you will end up in a miserable state if you make a move now. Lin Xian walked out at this moment and said coldly, It's you again. Saint King Desolate Heaven stared at Lin Xian. An extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes. Suddenly, the void around Lin Xian started to shatter. Those people also felt as if they were facing a great enemy. Lin Xian waved his hand and took out the Great Destruction Spear, blocking in front of him. The terrifying demonic aura blocked the Saint King's killing intent. Kid, you still dare to provoke me when you are about to die. But that's fine too. I will let you die willingly. When we bring Saint King Wushuang's head to you, let's see if you can continue to be so arrogant. Saint King Desolate Heaven sneered and disappeared into the sky. Did he leave? Lu Yuan, Yu Ruo, and the others could not believe it. Lin Xian's face was cold. Although Saint King Wushuang was no longer around, he had deities Templar behind him. Moreover, Jade Lake Sacred Master and Kunlun Sacred King would definitely take action on Morong Qingqing's side. Saint King Desolate Heaven was probably afraid of this as well. That was why he did not immediately take action. However, if Saint King Wushuang really died, then the situation would be different. He was afraid that those people would turn Wushuang City into ashes and smoke. In the next few days, Lin Xian asked the people from Deities Templar to quickly gather information. Even the other sacred grounds and sects started to take action. After all, if a Saint King really died, the impact would be too great. However, they did not get any information. Those people seemed to have come to the distant starry sky to fight. For the time being, they did not get any information. However, some people thought that Saint King Wushuang was dead for sure. No matter how strong he was and how he could fight against 2, it was impossible for him to fight against 3. Even if he could escape now, it would not be long before he was killed. Moreover, it seemed that those sacred cities were really prepared to take action. Lin Xian quickly asked Ling Hu Chueshue and the others to return to Deities Templar. They were safe for the time being. However, the news that came made his face turn cold. It seemed that those people had sent the news back to the 2 astral realm. If that was the case, then it would be really troublesome. Would those sacred cities attack Wushuang City in the 2nd astral realm? Young martial uncle, I want to leave. Ling Hu Chueshue found Lin Xian and said that he wanted to return to the 2nd astral realm. What can you do there? Lin Xian asked with a frown. Ling Hu Chueshue said that our foundation is in Wushuang City. There are countless elders and disciples there. I have to inform them quickly. Even if something happens to Master, I can't let Wushuang City fall. Lin Xian's face also turned cold. He said that he would go back too. He was also a member of Wushuang City. They had to do these things personally. To be honest, he could invite other Saint Kings. However, Those Saint Kings could only help them for a while. But could they help them forever? As long as there was no news of Saint King Wushuang, Wushuang City would be in danger. Since that was the case, he would let Wushuang City go into hiding. Damn it, he would definitely get his revenge. Lin Xian's eyes exploded with cold killing intent. Great desolate mansion, Acheron Hall, and myriad sword pavilion. He would not let any of them go. These people were moving quickly. Chapter 43:28. Fortunately, the deity's hall had a strong foundation. Hence, they were able to teleport through space. Lin Xian was a powerful array master. Hence, when they were teleported out of the starry sky, Lin Xian took charge. He used the power of the stars to form a space array. These space arrays had been set up in the deity's hall a long time ago. Some of them had been passed down from the deity's hall since the ancient times. Now that he had taken them out, he only needed to provide them with sufficient power. And these powers were either provided by the universe or by the power of some star worlds. In short, these people used the teleportation array to teleport back to the second astral boundary. In the second astral boundary, everyone was waiting. They wanted to know how the third stage of the Tao discussion went. However, after waiting for a long time, they received a piece of news. The unparalleled Sage King had fallen. When the news came out, all the sects and clans in the second astral boundary were stunned. What was going on? They knew that all the Sage Kings of the holy cities had left together with the geniuses and experts to participate in the third stage. However, before the news of the third stage spread, the news of the Sage King's death came out. The people of Unparalleled City naturally received the news as well. They were dumbfounded. How could this be? Their Sage King had fallen? Damn it, they didn't believe it. In an instant, they hurried out to investigate. However, the entire second astral boundary was talking about this matter. They couldn't help but wonder what had happened. Shibufan, Water Sky City, Wang Xiaofeng and the others were going crazy. The elders' faces were gloomy. Among them, the great elder said, "Everyone, come back. Don't act rashly. The current situation is very disadvantageous for us." Hence, they didn't go out. They immediately activated the array, and Unparalleled City entered a defensive state. On the other side, the Acheron Hall, Great Desolate Mansion, Myriad Sword Pavilion, and the other holy cities received the news and quickly prepared. They gathered their strength and prepared to launch a shocking attack. On this day, the laws in the void fluctuated and a huge space array appeared. 10 figures appeared on it. They were Lin Xian and the others. After Lin Xian and the others returned, they immediately flew towards Unparalleled City. Wushuang City was already glowing brightly, defending against everything. As they flew, they heard all sorts of news. As expected, those sacred cities were going to make a move against Peerless City. However, it would appear that they had arrived quite early. If he had been any later, the war would have already begun. Ling Hu Chueshua said, "It's us. Open the door quickly." The people in Peerless Sacred City were also stunned. It was Ling Hu Chueshua and the others. Have they returned? Quickly open the formation. The elders gave the order one after another. Immediately, a crack appeared in the countless spirit formations. Ling Hu Chueshua and the others directly flew into the crack. "It's really you." After they entered, the formation closed up again. Then, the elders and disciples walked up. What happened to senior brother Ling Hu? Was it true that a Saint King had fallen? Impossible, I don't believe it. The disciples asked nervously. Even the elders were frowning. What was going on with Chueshua? Ling Hu Chueshua's face was gloomy and cold. He said that our group was going to participate in the third stage. The third stage was on the legendary planet Primordial. After we landed, we passed the third stage. However, after the third stage, Acheron Hall's Silver Corpse Saint King, Great Desolate Mansion's Desolate Heaven Saint King, and Myriad Swords Pavilion's Ghost Deity Saint King attacked his master. Now, his master had entered the universe and his whereabouts were unknown. What? When the people in Peerless Sacred City heard this, they were really shocked. How could it be like this? They really couldn't believe it. Their Saint King was being chased by 3 Saint Kings. They were afraid that he would be in danger. No wonder there were rumors that unparalleled Saint King had fallen. Impossible. The Saint King was unparalleled. It was impossible for him to fall, an elder said. Another elder also said that the Saint King's body hadn't been seen yet. It meant that the Saint King might have escaped. There was a glimmer of hope in the eyes of these people. However, Linghu Chueshua did say that it was true. We naturally hope so too. However, I think that Acheron Hall, Great Desolate Mansion, and Myriad Swords Pavilion should be preparing to attack now. They want Peerless City to be completely destroyed. Damn it, the elders and disciples were all stunned. Let's go all out. Yes, let's kill them. These people's eyes were red. Did they really think that Peerless Sacred City was easy to bully? However, Linghu Chueshua said, "No, we have discussed this matter. Young martial uncle, you say it." Linghu Chueshua and the others looked at Lin Xian. The others were stunned. Young martial uncle? What was going on? Wasn't Lin Xian the chief disciple of the third generation? Linghu Chueshua said that Lin Xian was the junior brother of the Saint King and their martial uncle. When these words came out, everyone was shocked. The elders were also stunned. Was it true? Lin Xian walked out and nodded. That's right. Unparalleled Saint King is indeed my senior brother. Me too. Not long after that. If that's the case, then I'm afraid that Lin Gongzi will have to take charge of the situation. The other elders also turned to look at him. The other disciples also came over. Although Lin Xian was young, his reputation had already spread throughout the two astral realms. So they all asked about it. Young martial uncle Lin, what should we do? Lin Xian said as he surveyed the surroundings with his gaze. Senior brother is now being hunted by someone. The situation is not good. And Peerless Sacred City will soon be attacked by the three sacred cities. Moreover, I think that Demon City and Thunder City will add insult to injury. So, we are in great danger. I have two ideas now. First, we definitely can't fight them head-on. So, I've decided to seal Peerless Sacred City and completely hide it until the Saint King returns. When these words came out, everyone exclaimed. Lin Xian continued. Of course, the time this time is not certain. It may be 500 years, or 1,000 years, or even a few thousand years. So, I plan to let a group of people come out and scatter all over the second astral realm. First, they will be responsible for gathering information. Second, they can hide their identities and cultivate. This way, if the Saint King really returns, he can immediately communicate with Peerless Sacred City. I agree with young martial uncle. Linghu Chueshua walked up. Fu Hongya also said, and I agree with her. Shangguan Shaoxian and the others also nodded. They had discussed this matter before, and this was the best way for now. Unwilling, the disciples gritted their teeth. The elders also clenched their fists. They said, "Damn it, but I agree with martial uncle Lin. We also think that this is the best way for now. Peerless Sacred City is the Saint King's life's work. We can't destroy it. We must preserve our strength and foundation and wait for the Saint King's return." Chapter 43-29. Lin Xian said in a clear voice, "Don't worry, this seal isn't a retreat, it's a hibernation. I can make a vow to everyone here. I won't let any of these holy cities off." Lin Xian's eyes blossomed with extremely cold killing intent. Soon, a portion of them stayed outside and concealed their identities. They gathered information while silently cultivating. The other portion stayed in Wushuang's sacred city. Lin Xian and the others personally sealed Wushuang's sacred city. All they needed to do was to activate the array formation. Sure enough, a huge black vortex enveloped the entire holy city and swallowed it. Then, it disappeared into the void. Lin Xian and the others stood in the void of the universe, looking at the holy city that disappeared in front of them. Their expressions were incomparably solemn. These people didn't enter the holy city because they wanted to go to the buried Emperor Star. Therefore, they all stayed outside. "Martial uncle, what should we do next?" They all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said that there is less than a year before the buried Emperor Star opens. This period of time will be very dangerous. I think we should also hide. When the time comes, everyone will gather and I will bring you back to the true spirit world. It's not easy to cross the astral boundary and return. However, it's not very difficult for those holy kings. For example, Lin Xian and the others have the formation from the divine palace. They only need to provide enough power. Previously, they had exhausted the power of 6 worlds to reach this place. After arriving, the 6 worlds were turned to ashes. It should be the same when they return. It's too exhausting. Lin Xian doesn't plan to return for the time being. They will wait in the second astral boundary. If there's a possibility of revenge, they will immediately take action. These people left behind sound transmission arrays for each other, as well as a place to meet up with each other. They also flew in different directions. The second astral boundary is incomparably vast. If they hide in a certain world, it will be impossible for others to catch them. Not long after they left, the people from the 3 great sacred cities charged over. Their grandiose arrival startled the entire astral boundary. Everyone was stunned. It seems that they really want to make a move on Wushuang's sacred city. Some people were watching silently. However, when the people from the 3 great sacred cities arrived, they were all stunned. That was because there was nothing in front of them anymore. What about Peerless Sacred City? Damn it, did it disappear? That's impossible. It must be a formation that's hidden. Find it for me. The experts of the 3 sacred cities roared crazily. However, after searching for a while, he didn't find anything. A holy city had disappeared? Damn it. The people of Acheron Palace roared. Damn it, they actually sealed the information after receiving it. The people from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion were also frowning. They were really decisive. Who knew how many thousands of years it would take for such a seal to appear? The people from the Great Desolate Mansion said, "Don't worry, they couldn't seal all of them. Someone would definitely come out to see his news." Pass down the order to search for the people from Peerless City. Once he found them, he would immediately bring them over. He had to find out what happened to Peerless City. Also, send powerful experts and array masters to search for him. I don't believe that he can disappear completely. One order after another was passed down. Firstly, they had to frantically search for Wushuang's sacred city and destroy it. Secondly, they had to find the people from Wushuang's sacred city and ask for information. In an instant, the sacred cities moved quickly. The other families were also shocked when they received the news. Did Wushuang's sacred city just disappear after being sealed? It was really unbelievable. A sacred city disappeared just like that? It was really hard to believe. The Saint Kings in the distant true spirit world also received the news and snorted coldly. Disappeared? It seemed like those people had taken action in advance. But so what? When we go back, we will definitely find Wushuang City. Maybe we can uproot it then. The soaring sacred king of the 1,000 demon city sneered. The sacred king of the thunder god city's eyes flickered. He said, "Should we go back now? I heard that the immemorial grotto is going to make a big move soon. I'm going to pay them a visit. A declining sacred city isn't worthy of our attention." The peerless sacred king was already dead, and Wushuang City was no longer a threat. We naturally have to stay here. The immemorial grotto has been passed down since the immemorial era. Their sacred spirit bloodline is so powerful, we have to be on good terms with them. It's of great significance to us. These sacred kings didn't return, but stayed here. A huge storm was set off in the second astral realm. All kinds of discussions could be heard everywhere. After all, the fall of a sacred king and a sacred city was something that had never been seen in thousands of years. At the same time, some news came out. Recently, some unfamiliar faces had appeared in the second astral realm. These people were very powerful, and they began to challenge the geniuses of the sacred city one by one. What was surprising was that the geniuses of the sacred city were all defeated, and they were all defeated within 3 moves. This made people exclaim, "Where did these experts come from?" For a moment, everyone was talking about it. Could it be that those people from Wushuang City had hidden themselves and transformed? Some people were puzzled. However, some people shook their heads. No matter how powerful those people from Wushuang City were, they couldn't be so powerful. Besides, those people wouldn't dare to show up. Then where are they from? I heard that there are already 6 geniuses from the sacred city that have been defeated. These people are too heaven-defying. Maybe they are from other astral realms. Some people said that it would be great if those people from Wushuang City were still here. Are you talking about Lin Wudi and Linghu Chueshua? Those people? That's for sure. These people were very powerful. No matter what kind of geniuses appeared, they would be able to fight against them. Sighs could be heard one after another. There were also people who sneered. That was impossible. They had been hunted down long ago. Perhaps they had already been killed. It was a pity that Wushuang City was destroyed. Otherwise, these people would definitely be able to laugh at them. At this moment, someone said, Wushuang City was just unlucky. Wushuang's sacred king was very powerful, but he was attacked by so many sacred kings. How could he not be defeated? If it was a one-on-one fight, Wushuang City wouldn't be able to defeat Wushuang's sacred king. When this was said, everyone was shocked. Where did this news come from? That person said, Are you stupid? Wushuang City attacked together. Do you think the three sacred kings won't join forces? Do you think a sacred king alone can defeat Wushuang's sacred king? When this was said, everyone nodded. That was true. That person continued. I'm guessing that it must be Acheron Palace. Don't forget that Acheron Palace's Silver Corpse sacred king once attacked Lin Xian. Such a person was capable of doing anything. Chapter 43:30. The other people's faces changed. How dare you talk about the Saint Kings? That's right. Do you want to die? That person said, Don't worry. The Saint Kings of the second astral boundary are probably not here. Indeed, the disappearance of Wushuang City was such a big matter, but none of the Saint Kings came out. This meant that the Saint Kings might not be here at all. Everyone was shocked. This person's analytical ability was so sharp. Why? You dare to challenge the Acheron Hall when the Saint Kings are not here? Who gave you the courage? At this moment, a cold voice was heard. Everyone's scalp went numb. Oh no, it's the people of the Acheron Hall. They all retreated. A figure walked up, emitting an extremely cold aura. He was a disciple of the Acheron Hall. At this moment, his cold eyes circled around. Who gave you the courage to talk about the Acheron Hall behind their backs? The surrounding people were so scared that their scalps went numb, and their bodies started to tremble. The short-haired young man who spoke earlier was also shocked. He did not expect himself to be so unlucky. The people of the Acheron Hall were just beside him. In the next moment, he said, Did I say anything wrong? The entire astral boundary knows that the three saint cities are attacking together. I didn't lie. Why are you targeting me? Why? The genius of the Acheron Hall laughed. Because I'm from the Acheron Hall, and you're just an ant. As he spoke, he waved his hand and slapped out. It was a white bone claw that carried the Acheron Hall and melted everything. In an instant, it enveloped the short-haired young man. The short-haired young man tried his best to dodge, but his attack was useless. Because the one who attacked was a minor saint, and he was just a saint. He could not resist at all. Just when everyone thought that the short-haired young man was dead, the situation changed. A bolt of lightning flashed and took the short-haired young man away. The white bone hand in the sky smashed down, shattering everything. However, it only hit an afterimage. Is he gone? The people of the Acheron Hall looked cold, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. Damn it! His gaze swept in all directions, but he did not find anyone. On the other side, the short-haired young man appeared in the sky. He looked at himself and was stunned. He did not look injured. I'm not dead? How is that possible? He turned his head and saw that there was another figure beside him. Immediately, he took a deep breath. It seemed that someone had saved him. However, this person was very unfamiliar. He had never seen him before. Thank you for saving me, young master. The short-haired young man cupped his fists and said. Lin Xian turned around and nodded at the other party. Previously, he was also in the restaurant, so when he saw this scene, he immediately saved the other party. It was not because he was kind-hearted, but because he felt that this person had some ability. He said in a deep voice, Were you the one who analyzed all the things you said before? Yes, the short-haired youth nodded. My information network is better than others. Coupled with my analysis, my guess shouldn't be wrong. I just didn't expect my luck to be so bad to actually meet someone from Acheron Hall. If it wasn't for young master, I'm afraid I would have already gone to hell. At this point, the short-haired young man clenched his fist and said, the Acheron Palace had gone too far. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile as he asked, do you want revenge? The short-haired young man smiled bitterly. Young master, you must be joking. It's already not easy for me to stay alive. Is that so? However, do you think the people from Acheron Hall will let you go? As he said that, he grabbed the figure and countless laws appeared on his body. In the next moment, the short-haired young man saw a flash of lightning around him. It was the genius from Acheron Hall who had attacked him previously. That person looked around, and it seemed that he had not given up on chasing him. Do you still want revenge now? Lin Xian asked again. A cold look appeared in the short-haired young man's eyes. The Acheron Hall had gone too far. He had already escaped, but they were still chasing him. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, he would have died several times. However, I don't have the strength. The short-haired young man shook his head and smiled bitterly. Lin Xian said, I can help you. However, you have to help me with something. The short-haired young man said, young master, just tell me what you need. Lin Xian said, use your analytical ability to analyze the Acheron Hall for me. Was there any possibility that there were any flaws? Was he ambushed or attacked directly? That person was stunned and then gasped. He was too shocked. It seemed that the person in front of him had a grudge against the Acheron Hall. He said, as long as young master can help me kill the person who was chasing me, I can help you analyze it. That was easy. Lin Xian brought him down and landed on the ground in an instant. The genius from Acheron Hall in front also stopped and turned around abruptly. In the next moment, he saw two figures. One of them was the person he was looking for. It's you. Do you think you can escape from me? Finally, he looked at Lin Xian with a cold, murderous look in his eyes. Lin Xian had changed his appearance and aura. The other party could not recognize him at all. However, the genius from Acheron Hall sneered. If I'm not wrong, you were the one who chased the other party away just now. Since you dare to interfere with the matters of Acheron Hall, you can go to hell too. With a cold snort, he slapped out his palm. A terrifying aura shrouded the area. It completely enveloped Lin Xian and the short-haired young man. The short-haired young man's face turned pale. Was he going to die? However, Lin Xian did not care. He waved his hand, and a sword light flashed across like a divine rainbow. When the sword light disappeared, the terrifying white bone palm also disappeared. Heaven and earth were split in half. The body of the young man from Acheron Hall was also split in half. His eyes were wide open. Even until his death, he could not believe that Lin Xian could kill him so easily. All right, now that he's dead, you can analyze it for me. The short-haired young man could not believe what he saw. He was really shocked. Who was this person in front of him? When he heard Lin Xian's words, he came back to his senses. He knew that he had to answer seriously. Otherwise, it would be too dangerous. In the next moment, he said, please give me some time to think about it. After thinking for about half an hour, the short-haired young man said, according to the information I received, the Acheron Hall is in the middle of the Peerless Hall. The people from Acheron Hall have been on the move recently. Of course, some of them are continuing to chase after the people from Peerless City. However, some of them have other motives. Many of these people were elders or extremely terrifying experts. With their status, it's impossible for them to investigate personally. Therefore, I'm guessing that they have something big to do. Moreover, I realize that Acheron Hall has been using some formations recently. This means that they might be carrying out a faraway operation. Perhaps they might be crossing over. Lin Xian was shocked when he heard that. His eyes flickered as he asked, was that true? The short-haired young man nodded and said, of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? I'm guessing that Acheron Hall has been on the move recently. Those top elders and experts will leave. If they want to attack Acheron Hall, this is the best opportunity. Chapter 43:31. The Netherworld's sacred city was like an overlord in the second astral realm. Usually, no one dared to come here. Meanwhile, in the Yellow Spring Holy City, a group of people entered the teleportation array and left quickly. The rest of the people continued to live their lives as usual, because they thought that no one knew about it. So what if they knew? Who would dare to behave atrociously in their Netherworld Hall? However, they did not know that there was a figure outside the Netherworld Hall. This figure was none other than Lin Xian. Previously, he saved a short-haired young man. Through his analysis, he knew that a large number of experts would be leaving the Netherworld Hall soon. Therefore, he was here to take revenge. The Netherworld Hall had joined forces with others to hunt down the unparalleled Sage King. Now, his whereabouts were unknown. Now that unparalleled city was sealed and hidden, he had to take revenge. After waiting for another 2 days, Lin Xian felt that it was about time. Those people would not come back, so he was ready to take action. The security of the Netherworld's sacred city was very tight, and there were countless formations around it. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to enter quietly. However, that was not a problem for Lin Xian at all. Lin Xian directly activated the Void Escape, avoided those formations, and entered the Netherworld Hall. Looking at the surrounding scene, the corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a cold smile. In the next moment, his figure flashed and rushed forward. As soon as he left, 2 teams walked over. They were the guards. 6 guards were holding swords in their hands. Buzz. In the next moment, they felt the world spinning. What was going on? The 6 of them roared in fear. However, they found that their surroundings had changed. They seemed to have come to a special space. Who was it? The 6 guards were on guard. One of the guards snorted. Who was it? In the next moment, he saw a figure appear in front of him. Who are you? He found that it was a very young person. Lin Xian used the Great Sage Tower to put these people away. Then, he sneered. Attack. He slapped out a palm and charged forward. Did he have a death wish? So what if there were 6 of them? There was only one person on the other side. How dare he attack them? Counterattack. The guard leader roared, and his sword flew out. Terrifying laws danced between heaven and earth. However, it was useless. Under this palm, their attacks were completely shattered. Then, the 6 of them felt immense pressure, and their bodies kept trembling. How was that possible? How could the opponent be so strong? Their attacks were actually unable to break through his defense? Damn it, who the hell is this person? Why do I feel that his strength is enough to crush everything? These guards trembled nonstop. Then, with a thud, they knelt on the ground. The guard leader's face was also filled with fear. He felt that all the bones in his body were about to be crushed. Pung pung pung. These people turned into a bloody mist that filled the air. Their souls wanted to escape. They were all destroyed by Lin Xian's palm strike. This was only the beginning. Yellow Springs Hall, I will let you know what despair is. Lin Xian walked out of the Great Sage Hall and continued to walk inside. After that, he encountered 3 more guards, and he used the same method to kill them all. Finally, someone realized that something was wrong, because they realized that their companions didn't seem to respond. Soon, 30 figures appeared around them and began to search in all directions. In the next moment, they saw a man standing in front of them. Who are you? They roared and wanted to attack. However, in the next moment, they realized that they couldn't move. That was because there was an extremely terrifying power around them. It was pressing down on them. Boom. These people all knelt on the ground again. Some of their bones were even directly crushed. Damn it, how is that possible? This time, the kings of the Yellow Springs Hall were all stunned. Who was the other party? He stood there without moving, but the power on his body made 30 saints kneel on the ground. Who are you? There was a young man among them. He was also considered a genius. At this moment, he gritted his teeth with a ferocious expression. He struggled to stand up. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly and glanced over. His gaze was like 2 divine swords that instantly pierced through that person. The others were too shocked. At this moment, another middle-aged man roared, and an extremely terrifying power surged out of his body. However, Lin Xian's body also lit up. The power of the 9 yang divine body directly suppressed the other party. With a plop, half of the man's body turned into a bloody mist, and his eyes fell out of their sockets. Golden physique. You're Lin Wudi. As soon as these words came out, the others were shocked. What? Lin Wudi? He's actually here? They became incomparably terrified. Lin Wudi was no stranger to them at all. He was the sworn enemy of the Yellow Springs Hall. This time, the Yellow Springs Hall had joined forces with the other two sacred cities to attack Wushuang's sacred city. They had caused the seal on Wushuang's sacred city to completely disappear. Such a grudge was definitely avenged. However, they didn't expect that the other party would be so bold as to directly attack. Was there anyone else other than him? These people didn't dare to imagine. They wanted to send out the news, but they found that it was impossible to do so. That's right, it's me. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. This time, he was here for revenge. Buzz. In the next moment, he walked forward with his pulsating footsteps. As his step landed, the pressure between heaven and earth became terrifying again. Suddenly, 3 people turned into bloody mists. All the bones in their bodies were shattered. With another stomp, another 5 people turned into a bloody mist. These people's souls didn't even have time to escape. Those who were still alive were scared out of their wits. What kind of strength was this? They couldn't even resist the sound of the other party's footsteps? In the end, Lin Xian took 5 steps and all 30 people were killed. Lin Xian grabbed 2 of the souls and asked coldly, "I'll give you a chance. Tell me the location of the Yellow Springs Sacred City's teleportation array." Damn it, don't even think about it. Before the first soul could finish speaking, it was directly cut in half. The second soul said, "I'll take you there." He really didn't want his soul to be destroyed. Very good. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. Next, the other party led the way. There were a total of 5 teleportation arrays in Yellow Springs Sacred City. These were all relatively long-distance teleportation arrays. Lin Xian decided to destroy these teleportation arrays. Even if those people in the distance learned about it, they probably wouldn't be able to return in a short time. Finally, they arrived in front. There was a mountain range in front of them. There were many teleportation arrays inside. Yellow Springs Sacred City was also incomparably vast, so there were all kinds of scenes inside. Very good. It seems that you didn't lie to me. I'll give you a quick death. Lin Xian directly searched the soul and then destroyed it with a palm. In the next moment, he took out a wisp of light smoke and flew into the sky. The 10,000 light smoke could cover everything. When he fought inside, the people outside wouldn't know at all. Chapter 43:32. Lin Xian walked forward. He did not conceal his aura, so he was discovered in an instant. There was a huge force in front of him that was surging towards him. It was as if it was going to crush heaven and earth. At the same time, a cold voice was heard. "Who is it? How dare you barge into the Acheron Hall?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. Golden light burst out from his eyes, and then he slashed out with his sword. A crack appeared in the void, followed by a roar from afar. Blood splattered between heaven and earth. "You're courting death." An old man rushed over quickly, but his terrifying aura shrouded everything. "Who are you?" He immediately noticed Lin Xian, and his cold voice quickly circled around him. "I'm the one who's going to kill you." Lin Xian sneered and attacked. A terrifying palm surged between heaven and earth. "You're courting death." That person roared. How dare he barge into the Acheron Hall to cause trouble? He's courting death. The moment the two exchanged blows, it was earth-shattering. However, the battle ended in an instant. That old man was instantly split into 2. His broken body fell from the sky, and his face was full of shock. How is this possible? Isn't he too strong? He wanted to escape, but a huge hand grabbed him and completely enveloped him. Damn it, how dare you? In the distance, there were 2 more roars, followed by 2 figures flying over quickly. They were 2 sacred venerables, and their auras were unparalleled. "Let our man go. Kneel down and accept your death." "Let him go? With just you 2? Who do you think you are? How dare you order me around?" Lin Xian waved his hand, and the huge palm destroyed the other party. "Damn it, how dare you?" The pupils of the 2 sacred venerables shrank. They really did not expect the other party to be so strong. Moreover, his methods were so decisive, instantly killing one of their experts. Who exactly are you? Why, you don't even recognize me. Lin Xian's body flickered, and then his real face appeared. What? It's you. When the two sacred venerables saw this scene, their faces changed instantly. Lin Wudi, how could they not recognize him? This was the person they had been dreaming of finding. However, they had sent so many people to search these days, but they still found nothing. What about today? They discovered that the other party had actually come here and had even attacked them forcefully. Was this guy here for revenge? How many people had come? They looked around warily. Lin Xian sneered, "Don't bother. I'm the only one here. I don't need too many people to deal with you." Damn it, an old man shouted coldly. The other middle-aged man's face sank. He wanted to form a seal and send out a message. However, a beam of sword light cut off his arm. Don't struggle. Since I dared to reveal my true appearance, do you think I will let you spread the news? Your Acheron Hall is courting death. How dare you attack Peerless City? Now, I'll let you know what regret and despair is. A shocking killing intent appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. In the next moment, he made a powerful move. Not good. Retreat quickly. The two elders angrily shouted and quickly retreated. They knew how strong Lin Xian was, but they still underestimated him. Lin Xian instantly appeared in front of the two of them and then blasted out a palm. With a bang, one of them was directly blown apart. The other person also vomited blood and was sent flying. Damn it! How could he be so strong? The two elders were shocked. The other party was much stronger than when they first met him. Damn it! Let's fight it out. The two of them rushed over again, but they couldn't even block one move from Lin Xian. The two of them were completely suppressed. Lin Xian went up and smashed all the bones in their bodies. Then, a golden light scattered in his eyes. Next, they would suffer 10,000 years of pain. He opened his heavenly secret divine eyes and pulled the two of them into the spiritual world. 100 reincarnations, 10,000 years of pain. In the end, the two of them were destroyed. Then, Lin Xian continued to walk forward. Soon, he felt a terrifying aura around him. He sneered, and endless nomological laws appeared on his body. A formation appeared under his feet, and he charged out forcefully. There were actually a total of 3 sacred venerables around him. Other than that, there were also some defensive formations. It wasn't that the Acheron Palace didn't care about this place, but that no one could come here. So, there wasn't a need for too many people to guard this place. But who would have thought that Lin Xian would charge in today? Lin Xian broke the formation and came to the front. He found that there were indeed teleportation formations in front of him. There were more than 100 of them, big and small. It seemed that the teleportation places were all different. He sneered, and with a wave of his hand, he shattered all the teleportation formations. Then, he began to go to the next place. Next, the formations in 3 places were damaged. Just like before, he first used 10,000 light smoke to cover that place. Then, Lin Xian attacked forcefully. Although the guards were all sacred venerables, they were still vulnerable in his hands. At this moment, a formation on Lin Xian's body flickered. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Was he here? Previously, when he came, he also informed the nearby warriors of Wushuang City. Now, someone had arrived. Fu Hongye. After Fu Hongye entered, he asked, "How is it?" Lin Xian replied, "The peak elders and elites have already left. The remaining people are nothing to fear. I already destroyed 3 of their formations. There are 2 left. Let's attack together." Fu Hongye's lips curled up in a smile. Then, the 2 turned into beams of light and continued attacking the other 2 teleportation formations. When Fu Hongye arrived at the 4th teleportation formation, 2 late-stage holy venerables appeared. Clearly, the teleportation formation here was more important. Those 2 roared furiously, shaking the world. However, Lin Xian smiled coldly. "It's fine. They can't spread the news. Attack. To think that it is the remnants of Wushuang City. This is a good opportunity to capture you and find out where Wushuang City is." The two late-stage holy venerables showed cold smiles on their faces. They had been guarding this place all this time. Hence, they did not know much about what happened outside. Of course, they did not know that Lin Xian and Fu Hongye's strength had already advanced by leaps and bounds. Brat, die. A middle-aged man stretched out a finger. Then, it turned into the yellow springs and charged forward. In that middle-aged man's opinion, the other party was one cultivation realm lower than him. Killing the other party would be as easy as flipping his hand. However, Lin Xian directly executed the man-ruler seal. Horrifying energy spread out in the world. Instantly, it broke the other party's yellow springs finger. That late stage wholly venerate's pupils constricted. How can Xiao Qin be so strong? That middle-aged man was simply too shocked. Was this really a youth? However, that middle-aged man already had no chance to regret. With one strike from the man-ruler's seal, that middle-aged man's body tore apart. Roar! A frenzied roar rang out, and the other late-stage holy venerate's expression changed. How can this be? Lin Wudi is already this strong? At this moment, Fu Hongye smiled coldly. Do you still have time to care about others when fighting me? After speaking, a red leaf flew out and instantly pierced through the other party. Boom! That late-stage holy venerate roared crazily. He felt boundless fear. How can these two be so strong? They felt like they were facing a holy king. What exactly did the other party experience during this period? Chapter 43:33. Next, the fourth array formation was destroyed. Next was the fifth array formation ground. When these teleportation arrays were destroyed, the two of them smiled. This was only the beginning. Next, they could really make their move. Lin Xian activated his heavenly secret divine eyes and began to search. Soon, he locked onto a direction. There were many powerful auras there, and they were very concentrated. It should be a cultivation place. Fu Hongye sneered when she heard that. Then let's go there. He dared to let Wushuang's sacred city seal him. We will destroy his Acheron Hall completely. The two of them left as fast as lightning without making a sound. Lin Xian carried the void beast skin, and the two of them flew quickly in the void. Soon, they found a black mountain in front of them. It was pitch black and carried with it a cold power. Nine Nether Mountain. Lin Xian saw a stone tablet in front of him that stood in the void. He guessed that this should be a place of cultivation. As expected, the aura of the laws here was very rich. It was very suitable for the people of Acheron Hall to cultivate. Lin Xian found that there were many mansions on Nine Nether Mountain. Each of them was sealed, and the array formation outside flickered. Starting from the first mansion, they would not let go of any of them. Fu Hongye was originally worried that it would be troublesome to break the array formation. However, Lin Xian had the void escape, so he could directly teleport in. When they appeared in the mansion, one of the figures inside instantly opened his eyes. Someone had come in. Who was it? Why didn't his array formation have any reaction? Just as he turned around, he saw a ball of golden flames surging toward him like a sun. It instantly enveloped him. Roar! He let out a crazy roar. Acheron Hall was most afraid of the power of the sun. Now that he was enveloped by the 9-yang divine fire, the pain was worse than death. At this moment, Fu Hongye shot out another red leaf, which instantly pierced through the other party's glabella. The two of them attacked and killed the other party instantly. It was very smooth. Looking at the ground that had been reduced to ashes, Lin Xian and the other man disappeared once again. Next up was the second cave. Soon, the people inside were also killed. This time, it was a young genius who had died without knowing who had killed him. Even he was unable to believe that there was someone capable of launching a sneak attack in their holy city. Next, the third and the fourth. He killed 9 people in a row, and all the people inside were killed. When they reached the 10th mansion, Lin Xian and Li Wuyo stopped. This mansion was bigger than the previous one, and the aura was even colder. Obviously, this place was located in a very good location. There should be a lot of people inside, so he attacked with all his might. Lin Xian used the void escape to enter. Sure enough, there were 4 figures in the mansion, sitting in 4 different positions. The water of the yellow springs wrapped around them. The 4 of them were cultivating. 2 of them were experts of the older generation, while the other 2 were young geniuses. The moment Lin Xian and Lin Xian entered, the 2 older powerhouses opened their eyes. Who was it? The yellow springs diagram flew out from their eyes, suppressing heaven and earth. The 2 young geniuses stood up immediately as well. But in the next moment, their bodies were split apart. Lin Xian's 10 fatalities sword slashed down, destroying both their bodies and souls. On the other side, Fu Hongya also unleashed a terrifying ultimate move. An ancient maple tree descended from the sky. It suppressed one of them. On the other side, Lin Xian used the Tai Chi diagram to envelop another expert. The 2 of them were extremely fast, and the 2 older powerhouses were killed in an instant. It was too fast, and it was an instant kill. Moreover, these people were all cultivating, so it was very easy to kill them. Just like that, Lin Xian and Li Wuyo killed their way from the foot of the mountain to the top. Countless geniuses and experts of the older generation had died. If the Acheron Hall knew about this, they would definitely vomit blood. Lin Xian and Li Wuyo continued to move. At the same time, 3 more figures walked in from outside. The 3 of them were 2 young men and a middle-aged man. They walked forward. Among them, the middle-aged man said, "You 2 have done well. This is your first time entering the 9 Underworlds mountain. You must seize the opportunity well. Cultivating here is several times faster than outside." A hint of hope appeared in the eyes of the 2 young geniuses. Great, the 2 of them are really too excited. Looking at the pitch-black mountain in front of them, the 2 of them felt that the laws in their bodies were about to boil. Indeed, it was a holy land for cultivation. The middle-aged man in front took out a token. He said, "Follow me closely and don't be hurt by the array formation here." The array formation in front of them split open, and the 3 of them quickly entered. The middle-aged man in front had a smile on his face. The 2 little fellows he brought this time were very talented. Their future achievements were limitless. But all of a sudden, he was stunned and even frowned. Something was wrong. He felt that the information around him was very wrong. Especially the mansion in front of him. There was the smell of blood. How was that possible? Did he suffer from chi deviation while practicing martial arts? It shouldn't be. He walked forward. What was going on? Were the people inside injured? Black Wind Skeleton, how are you? The middle-aged man shouted for a while, but no one responded. That made him frown even more. Logically speaking, the people inside should have heard it. Even if they didn't open the mansion, they should have sent a message to reassure them. But there was no message now. The middle-aged man had a bad premonition. The 2 young geniuses were asking, "Uncle Master, what's wrong?" The middle-aged man said, "Wait here first." The token in his hand emitted an incomparable light, and the array formation in front of the mansion directly split open. The middle-aged man rushed in and slammed open the stone door of the mansion with a palm. The 2 young geniuses followed in. In the next moment, they were stunned. Their eyes widened in disbelief. There was no one in front of them. Only blood was left there. The middle-aged man was stunned. He remembered correctly that the person cultivating inside was the Black Wind Skeleton. That was also a sacred venerable. But at that moment, the other party was nowhere to be seen. There was only a pool of blood. Could it be that he was killed? Thinking of that, he couldn't believe it. Who did it? He left the mansion and began to go to the second one, the third one. However, every time he opened a mansion, the smell of blood flew out. Then, there was blood inside, but the person was gone. That was the aura of flames. The middle-aged man sensed that there was an unusually terrifying aura of flames left behind. That made his hair stand on end. Damn it, someone had come in. It was obvious that such a flame of extreme yang should not have appeared in their Acheron palace. Damn it, who was it? He was about to send a signal to get more people to come. However, at that moment, a low voice came from the top of the mountain. The middle-aged man suddenly raised his head. Oh no! He didn't have time to say anything and instantly flew up. Chapter 43-34. The elder arrived at the mountain in an instant. He saw energy coming out of one of the mansions. He immediately opened the array formation and charged in. He saw that the 3 figures inside had already fallen to the ground. Fresh blood flowed and dyed the world red. "Damn it! Who are you?" he roared angrily. His terrifying voice spread out. Lin Xian and Fu Hongye were stunned. They did not expect someone to discover them. Who is it? They did not alert anyone. It should be someone else who happened to be here. Thinking of that, a hint of killing intent appeared in their eyes. When the middle-aged man saw the 2 people in front of him, his pupils constricted. "It's you." He realized that those 2 people were from Peerless City. "Damn it!" he shouted angrily. He wanted to retreat and call the others over. However, at that moment, endless red leaves blocked his way. At the same time, Lin Xian's 9 sons' divine fire flew over. It was like a golden crow flying between heaven and earth. The middle-aged man trembled when he sensed the power of the sacred fire. "Get lost," he roared, but he was no match for him at all. Lin Xian's strength was far beyond his imagination. In an instant, his body melted. His soul was directly crushed by the rotation of the Taiji diagram. However, Lin Xian and Fu Hongye frowned. If the middle-aged man discovered them and a battle broke out, the news must have spread in other directions. Obviously, those people would start to hunt him down. Fu Hongye said, "Youngest Uncle Master, let's split up. Their elites have all left, so there should be no problem." Lin Xian nodded, then rushed down. As expected, the battle earlier had alarmed the people in the surrounding mansions. Those mansions opened one after another. They shouted angrily, "Who's there?" In the next moment, they saw a figure wrapped in black chi rushing down quickly. "There's an enemy. Go after him." Immediately, many people chased after Lin Xian. At the same time, a red light flickered on Fu Hongye's body. She turned into a bolt of lightning and flew in another direction. "There's another one on the left. Go after him." Some people went after Fu Hongye. Lin Xian charged all the way. The 2 geniuses stared with their eyes open wide. They had no idea what had just happened, as they were instantly engulfed in flames. Then, his body turned into ashes. "Damn it, how dare you!" The eyes of the Acheron Hall sages who were chasing after them turned red when they saw this scene. Those 2 were the new geniuses of Acheron Hall. They had great talents, and they decided to nurture them well. But now, he had actually fallen. Furthermore, they discovered that no one from the surrounding mansions had come out even though such a huge incident had occurred. It was truly inconceivable. Could it be that the people inside had also been killed? Thinking of this possibility, they felt like they were going crazy. Those who could come to the 9 Nether Mountain to cultivate were all experts and geniuses. If 1 or 2 of such people were to fall, they would be heartbroken. Once so many of them died, they would not be able to bear it. "Damn it! Once I capture him, I must destroy his soul." Lin Xian left 9 Nether Mountain and flew into the distance. Soon, he discovered that there were people charging towards him. Lin Xian attacked and killed them directly. However, he left 1 person behind. At the same time, he used his heavenly secret god eyes and turned the other party into a puppet. Then, he hid in the void. Behind him, 5 figures rushed down. When they saw this scene, their faces were cold. Then, he looked at the person who was still alive and asked, "Where is the enemy? Do you see him?" The puppet that was controlled respectfully knelt on the ground and reported, "Elders, that person is flying in the opposite direction." The opposite direction? The 5 of them turned their heads. However, at this moment, the void split open. The Tai Chi diagram and 10 fatalities swords flew out and enveloped these people instantly. Boom! Sword chi swept across, and the Tai Chi diagram exploded. Instantly, the 5 of them screamed in agony. Among them, one of their heads flew up while another was split into 2. In an instant, 3 of them were killed and 2 were severely injured. "Damn it, what's going on? Why would one of our people help the other party?" The 2 elders turned their heads. Their broken bodies were quickly recovering. In the next moment, they saw the young man who was kneeling on the ground stand up. His eyes were shining with a golden light. "Damn it, we're being controlled." Then, they saw a pitch-black figure standing in front of them. "Who exactly are you?" The two of them roared. Lin Xian sneered. "I'm the one who's going to kill you." The 10 fatalities' swords swept out again. The demonic aura on them was extremely terrifying. "Damn it, attack together," the two elders shouted angrily. In their opinion, they were severely injured because they were careless previously. If the two of them attacked together, they would definitely be able to kill the other party. However, they soon regretted it. The other party's physique was so strong that they couldn't block the terrifying sword chi at all. In just 3 moves, one of them was killed. The other elder retreated frantically. At the same time, he roared. As soon as he shouted, his body was also pierced through. Lin Xian didn't hold back at all when he attacked. The other party couldn't resist the aura of the 10 fatality swords and the great dragon sword soul. "Damn it, there are many guards in the distance. Kill him." With a roar, the guards attacked in a frenzy. Lin Xian held the 10 fatalities swords in his hand, and the demonic aura on his body was monstrous. "Let's kill then." A cold light appeared in his eyes, and he instantly attacked. With one sword, 5 people were split apart. With the second sword, many people were sent flying and turned into blood mist. With every step Lin Xian took, he slashed with his sword. Wherever he passed, the warriors and saints of the Acheron Hall were all killed. Lin Xian was like a peerless demon god. No one could stop him. In the blink of an eye, the people in front of him were all killed. There were also 2 people who were kneeling on the ground and trembling. What kind of person is he? He's too powerful. They couldn't resist at all. Lin Xian looked at the 2 people. With a wave of his hand, 2 rays of sword chi split the 2 of them apart. Boom! At this moment, a bell rang from the depths of the Acheron Palace, reverberating throughout the entire area. A large number of experts rushed out. It was obvious that the entire Acheron Hall was completely alarmed. Lin Xian's body swayed, and he left completely. Not long after he left, more figures moved in the distance. They came close. In the next moment, when they saw the sea of blood in front of them, their faces were extremely ugly. The battle ended in such a short time. How many people came? At this moment, someone came to report from afar. "Elder, we've investigated the situation at 9th Phantom Mountain. Most of the people have been killed." After saying this, the person who came to report also knelt on the ground and didn't dare to raise his head. In front of him, there was an elder in a black Taoist robe. When he heard this, a cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes. "Damn it, I'm going crazy." Chapter 43:35. In their opinion, there should be a lot of people coming in. However, the person who reported the news said that only 2 people had been found so far. What? 2 people? The surrounding people were all stunned. They felt that it was inconceivable. Could 2 people create such a scene? How strong were the 2 of them that came in? At this moment, someone asked, "Elder, should we report this to the Great Elder and the others?" When the leading elder heard this, his face instantly darkened. "What do you mean? The Great Elder and the others are going to participate in the Primordial Grotto's banquet. They just teleported away, and now you tell them that countless experts have died here. How do you think they will punish us when they return? Also, what if the Sage King is alerted?" Hearing this, the others felt their scalps go numb. That's right, they stayed here to guard the holy city. If such a big thing happened in the holy city and they did not even catch the culprit, they were afraid that all of them would die if the Sage King was angry. Thus, the old man said that the most important thing right now was to capture the enemy. That way, even if the Sage King and the Great Elder blame us, we can push the enemy away. But how are we going to find the 2 of them? The surrounding people frowned. The elder said, "Who do you think will attack the Acheron Hall?" When these words came out, the others' faces changed. Indeed, they were the holy city, the overlord of the 2nd astral realm. Who would dare to attack them? Unless it was a deep vendetta. There was only one person who had a deep vendetta, and that was Peerless City. Everyone exclaimed, "It's Peerless City." That's right. The elder revealed a sinister smile. It must be them. Peerless Sage King's life was unknown, and Peerless City was sealed. They would definitely not accept it. But I didn't expect them to be so bold as to come to the holy city and act so atrociously. Send out the order to seal the entire holy city. Not even a fly can fly out. I want to see how the two of them can fight against the entire holy city. Obviously, these people were ready to attack. After the order was given, countless arrays appeared around the Acheron Hall, covering the sky and earth, forming a peerless barrier. No one could leave. At the same time, the people of the second astral realm naturally felt it. They looked at the flickering array light in the distance and revealed a look of shock. What's going on? The Acheron Hall also had such a formation. Could it be that they also wanted the seal to disappear? However, they discovered that after the formation appeared, the Yellow Springs Hall did not disappear. No one could guess what was going on. Inside the Yellow Springs sacred city, Lin Xian and Fu Hongya both frowned. It seemed that those people were already preparing to counterattack. The people in the Yellow Spring Holy City were also surprised. The Netherworld sacred city was larger than a world. Not only were there extremely powerful cultivators, but there were also ordinary people. They were all part of the world, and not a single one could be missing. At that moment, those people looked to their surroundings with incomparable astonishment. Why did the holy city want to seal the world? They didn't understand. Furthermore, they discovered that the Yellow Springs Nine Serenity's Great Formation was activated. In the next moment, they discovered that many storms had appeared above the countless cities. In the end, they turned into terrifying shadows one after another. Their ice-cold auras descended from their bodies, descending upon this world. The people in the city were shocked. What's going on? They knew that the people of the holy city were godlike existences to them. They were living under the feet of these gods. A man in black armor walked out and said coldly, "You don't have to be afraid. Two enemies have sneaked into the world of the holy city. We are now searching. No one is allowed to resist. We want to take back your souls." As soon as these words came out, some people below knelt on the ground respectfully and accepted the soul collection. They knew that under normal circumstances, these people would not harm them. In one of the cities below, Fu Hongye frowned. He didn't expect these people to act so quickly. What should he do? He looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "Let's take a look first. If it doesn't work, we'll kill our way out." He didn't act rashly. He sensed that those people in the sky were holding several simple mirrors and quickly scanning them. A powerful soul power swept over. Soon, it arrived near Lin Xian. Lin Xian naturally wouldn't let the other party investigate, so he snorted coldly and raised his hand to shatter the void. The mirror received the impact and kept shaking. Suddenly, the Acheron Hall martial artists above all looked over. Like a black storm, they swept over. "You dare to resist? Raise your head." The leader of the black-armored man said coldly. Lin Xian sneered. "You want to talk to me? Get down here. I don't like people who look up." That arrogant attitude stunned everyone. Could it be that he was an enemy? That shouldn't be. Which enemy would dare to be so arrogant? When did the holy city come to such a person? Or was he a descendant of some elder in the holy city who was here to train? Thinking of this, the black-armored man in the sky instantly descended. With a boom, the sky fell and the earth cracked. He descended with incomparable force and then asked, "Who are you? How dare you resist us? Don't you know the consequences of resisting us?" "The consequences of resisting you?" Su Chen sneered. "Then do you know who I am? Do you know the consequences of taking my soul?" Too arrogant. The surrounding people were stunned. The black-armored man was also stunned. He subconsciously asked, "What is it?" Lin Xian smirked coldly and sent out a palm strike, shattering the other party into pieces. At the same time, his cold voice sounded. The consequences were death. The surrounding people went crazy. This guy actually dared to attack. At the same time, the surrounding Netherworld army roared crazily. "It's him. He's that person from Wushuang City. Kill him quickly." With a roar, the terrifying Acheron aura and cold laws slashed down. "Attack!" Lin Xian roared angrily, and a sword flew out, shining in all directions. In an instant, many of the Netherworld army turned into blood mist. The entire sky was split open. On the other side, Fu Hongya also attacked, striking out a terrifying red leaf. Wherever it passed, those people's brows split open, and they kept falling from the sky. They were too strong. They were simply two supreme existences. Once they made a move, no one could stop them. Retreat quickly and inform the elders to mobilize the Acheron Netherworld Great Formation to kill him. The people above did not continue to attack. They knew that these two people were extremely terrifying. Ordinary people were no match for them at all. Therefore, they only needed to keep an eye on each other. Soon, even more terrifying sacred venerables appeared in the distance. Obviously, those elders were about to come out. At the same time, a terrifying formation appeared in the surroundings. The aura of the Acheron Netherworld spread between heaven and earth. Chapter 43-36. Buzz. A terrifying array erupted between heaven and earth, forming a pitch-black 9 underworld blade that slashed down. As expected of the holy city's supreme array, this blade was too terrifying. Even Lin Xian did not dare to take it head-on. He turned into a streak of light and dodged quickly. Below him, a city was instantly split apart, and the people inside were all turned into ashes. It was too terrifying. After Lin Xian dodged the attack, a giant white bone claw appeared between heaven and earth, enveloping him as well. He appeared and disappeared mysteriously, dodging both attacks in an instant. Kill. Those elders rushed over, leading the 9 Nether army to attack. Terrifying 9 underworld laws emerged from every member of the 9 underworld army, forming a terrifying 9 underworld wing. The 9 underworld wings flapped, and the earth cracked. Buzz. The 9 underworld wings instantly charged towards Lin Xian. Feeling the terrifying aura, Lin Xian roared. He no longer concealed his strength, and the 9 sun battle body on his body completely erupted. It was like a sun, shining brightly in the 9 heavens. This was the power of the purest yang, and it had a strong restraining effect on the people of the Acheron Hall. As expected, the moment the 9 sun divine fire appeared, it swept out in all directions, and the cold aura between heaven and earth quickly dissipated like snow. The people watching from afar were dumbfounded. It was too powerful. One had to know that the 9 underworld army was led by the elders, and they could definitely sweep through everything. However, they were helpless in front of Lin Xian. Was the other party really alone? The pupils of the elder who was leading the group also shrank. He was the 23rd elder, and his face turned ugly when he saw the scene. Who would have thought that Lin Xian's strength would be so strong? Lin Xian sneered. What? Do you think you can kill me with just the likes of you? Don't you think you're too naive? The Acheron Hall is courting death by challenging Wushuang City. Now, you'll have to suffer my wrath. Lin Xian's cold voice spread across heaven and earth. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The 23rd elder's eyes narrowed. To be honest, he had never thought that Lin Xian would be so strong. Could it be that he had obtained great benefits from the Holy Heavens Tao discussion? But so what? No matter how great the benefits were, they could not behave atrociously in their Acheron Hall. The other party was only one person. He didn't believe that the other party could keep fighting. Great army of the 9 Nether, kill! His roar shook heaven and earth. The surrounding 9 Nether army moved out in a frenzy. They soared into the sky like black waves. The terrifying aura of the 9 underworlds covered the sky. At the same time, the yellow springs surged beneath their feet, covering the entire area. Buzz. Lin Xian's 9 suns divine fire swept out and turned into a golden flame giant. The 10 extinction swords in his hand were covered by the 9 suns divine fire. With a slash of his sword, he contended against the countless Netherworld army. An earth-shattering sound rang out, and thousands of 9 underworld's army were sent flying while vomiting blood. At this moment, countless roars could be heard. It was hard for them to imagine that the other party could send so many people flying with a single strike. One had to know that those who were able to join the Ninth Nether Army were all extremely terrifying genius powerhouses. Thousands of people attacked together, but they couldn't even block a single strike of the other party's sword. Lin Xian sent the other party flying with a single strike, then quickly charged out. His target was the 23rd Elder. He could see that the 23rd Elder was the true core figure. The 23rd Elder's pupils shrank when he saw the other party charging at him. The next moment, he roared, "You're courting death. You want to kill me? Are you kidding me?" The terrifying aura of the Yellow Springs was like the sea, instantly appearing around him. Then, the Yellow Springs sword appeared and pierced forward. Suddenly, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Lin Xian stretched out his golden hand, forming the human ruler seal, and charged over. The human ruler seal descended from the sky as if it could destroy everything. As soon as they started fighting, the 23rd Elder began to scream miserably. He couldn't block it at all. Under the human ruler seal, the Yellow Springs sword that he transformed into was instantly shattered. Not only that, half of his body also turned into a bloody mist. Damn it! How could the other party be so strong? He quickly retreated, at the same time mobilizing the Yellow Springs 9 Underworlds formation to form a peerless attack. However, Lin Xian did use the Void Escape and instantly dodged. Then, he sent out another palm strike. In front of him, the endless void shattered, and the 23rd Elder was directly killed. The surrounding 9 Underworlds army was stunned. The 23rd Elder was killed so easily. Who exactly was this person? Lin Xian roared at the sky. He used the endless 9 suns divine fire, turning into 81 suns that rotated between heaven and earth. The endless flames, together with the sun law, kept falling, making the surrounding 9 Underworlds army unable to resist at all. At this time, Fu Hongya also made her move. Her powerful strength swept through everything. Damn it, there's still one more person. Kill them quickly. Those people in the distance roared crazily. At this moment, the Yellow Springs 9 Underworlds formation completely emerged. They mobilized the formation and charged at Lin Xian. The other martial artists charged at Fu Hongya. Lin Xian was completely targeted because compared to Fu Hongya, the people of Acheron Hall wanted to kill Lin Xian more. So in an instant, Lin Xian was pursued by a peerless force. Even the 9 Suns' divine body kept retreating. This peerless formation caused his chi and blood to roil. The 81 suns in the sky were also shrouded by the terrifying Yellow Springs. That's great. Attack. Kill him. Seeing this scene, the people of Acheron Hall were overjoyed. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to die? Then I'll fulfill your wish. Saying this, he roared and formed a seal with his palm. The Tai Chi diagram flew out and kept spinning. Half of the diagram turned into a sun to restrain these people, and the remaining death law kept flying out, turning into a mist of death, crazily sweeping around the surroundings. Although these people also cultivated the cold power, they were still human after all. As long as they were human, they would be afraid of the death law. As expected, some people's vitality was instantly taken away, turned into skeletons, and fell from the sky. Not good. This is the power of death. Quickly dodge. Exclamations sounded one after another, and the elders at the back also said, quickly retreat. Get out of the White Bone Army. Boom. The 9 Nether Army retreated, but the White Bone Army completely appeared. This White Bone Army was a complete creature of death, and they were not afraid of the death law at all. They used such a White Bone Army to fight against Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian did not only have the death law, he had 10 types of laws. The 10 Ultimate Sword Formation was activated, sealing the world. Although the White Bone Army resisted the death law, they could not block the terrifying sword chi. The sword slashed down, and a cold light shone. Pieces of white bones were shattered, and no one could get close to Lin Xian. Damn it! They controlled the Peerless Formation and released a terrifying energy to block the 10 Ultimate Sword Formation. They even attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian asked for a retreat again, but a hint of cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. In the next moment, he took out the Great Destruction Spear. The attack pierced forward. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The aura that belonged to a sage king swept in all directions. The surrounding people went crazy, vomiting blood. At this moment, at least 1,000,000 sages in Acheron Hall were shattered. How could he block it? Could it be that the other party had 2 Saint King-level weapons? When they thought of this possibility, their expressions became incomparably solemn. It couldn't be, right? The weapons of 2 Saint Kings were in the hands of a young man. They felt like they were dreaming. One had to know that in a holy city, there were only a few Saint King weapons that had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. How did the other party obtain them? Great. Seeing that Lin Xian was really not in any danger, Fu Hongya also heaved a sigh of relief. In the next moment, an extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes. Since that was the case, he would brandish the spear of great destruction with all his strength and begin to kill in all directions. A terrifying power swept out, causing heaven and earth to tremble. Even the peerless array formation was shaking nonstop. On the other hand, Lin Xian took out the great dragon sword soul. A dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in his hand. In the next moment, he took a deep breath. At the same time, a bottle appeared in his left hand. The devouring bottle. He used the devouring bottle to collect the blood of those who were killed around him. He gathered enough energy and poured it into the great dragon sword soul. The power of the great dragon sword soul was not weaker than a Saint King level weapon. However, to unleash such power, it consumed too much energy. With Lin Xian's own strength, it would not take long. Moreover, he was now in the Acheron Palace. It was impossible for him to consume so much energy. Fortunately, there were too many powerhouses and saints around him who had fallen. The energy that was drifting between heaven and earth. It was enough for him to use. As expected, when the energy in the devouring bottle poured into the great dragon sword soul, Lin Xian waved the dragon-shaped sword shadow. A dragon's roar sounded, and the sword chi slashed forward. The formation attacks that were aimed at Lin Xian were all blocked. Not only that, Lin Xian even used the laws, appearing and disappearing unpredictably. As more and more people fell, the devouring bottle absorbed more and more energy. In the end, the sword slashed open the formation. The faces of those people in the formation became extremely ugly. What was going on? In an instant, they were split into a bloody mist. The remaining people fled frantically. However, how could they be a match for Lin Xian? Another sword slashed down, and tens of thousands of Acheron Palace warriors were completely destroyed. The eyes of those elders who were still alive turned red. Quick, inform the first elder. Inform our Saint King. Tell them to come back quickly. Previously, they thought that with their strength and the peerless formation, they would be able to kill the other party. After all, the other party was only 2 people. However, they did not expect that the 2 people on Lin Xian's side were too powerful. Moreover, they actually took out 2 Saint King weapons. They even broke their protective formation. This made it impossible for them to resist, so they could only ask for help. Some people fled into the distance and began to form seals, using secret techniques to send messages. However, their expressions soon changed. Why hadn't they appeared yet? Logically speaking, after such a terrifying thing happened, those powerhouses who had left should have appeared instantly. However, those people had not appeared yet. Quickly investigate what was going on. Soon, someone flew over from afar. Not good. All 5 of our formation areas have been destroyed. We can't teleport over. The expressions of the others became extremely ugly. Their hearts seemed to have fallen into a bottomless abyss. Damn it, the other party must have planned this beforehand. What should we do, Elder? If the Saint King doesn't return, all of our souls will be destroyed in less than half an hour. Indeed, the current situation was too critical. Who would have thought that someone could sneak in and destroy so many of their teleportation formations? Furthermore, he was able to nearly destroy their holy city. Damn it, we still have formations. Activate those ancient formations. As a holy city, The Acheron Palace had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. Naturally, it would not have such a weak foundation. Therefore, the ground soon cracked, and an extremely terrifying formation appeared. It carried an ancient aura. Ancient formations were usually not used. They would only be used in extremely dangerous places. Now, this moment had arrived. Quickly send in your power. Those elders roared crazily. At the same time, they mobilized the remaining formations to defend. Chapter 43:38. The ancient array needed some time to activate, but it wouldn't take too long. Soon, an extremely terrifying aura spread out. The ancient array had been activated. The Great Elder and the other experts were about to return. It was even possible that the Silver Corpse Saint King would be teleported over. After all, no Saint King could ignore such a huge matter. Lin Xian also felt a chill down his spine. He knew that it was the killing intent of a Saint King. That was why he said, "Hongya, leave quickly." They were powerful now. With 2 Saint King weapons, they could sweep through all directions. However, it was still very difficult for them to meet a true Saint King, especially since they were in the Acheron Palace. The Silver Corpse Saint King had too many advantages. Therefore, they had to leave. The 2 of them struck out again, shattering heaven and earth. Then, they quickly flew into the sky. They wanted to escape. What kind of joke was this? Stop them. The eyes of the elders turned red. They had suffered such heavy losses. They were almost wiped out. They wanted to leave now? Impossible. Let them stay and wait for our Saint King to return and tear them into pieces. These people frantically attacked, wanting to stop them. The remaining spirit arrays also quickly charged over. Seal, don't let him escape. He knows spatial powers. An elder roared. Countless laws appeared in the sky, sealing heaven and earth. It seemed that even with spatial powers, they couldn't escape. What should we do? Fu Hongya's face was cold. Lin Xian's face was solemn. He said, "Give me your power." Fu Hongya gave her power to Lin Xian. At the same time, Lin Xian used the devouring bottle to madly absorb the power of this world. Then, he poured all of it into the great dragon sword soul. With a sword, the sky was completely split open. Then, the 2 of them turned into flowing light and disappeared. Boom, boom. At the same time, the ancient array below also flickered. Then, countless figures walked out of the array. The person in the lead released a cold aura. The moment he appeared, he looked disdainfully. He was the Silver Corpse Saint King. After coming out, he saw the surrounding scene and his face immediately turned ugly. What's going on? The elite elders behind him were all stunned. Oh my God, was this still their saint city? One had to know that their holy city was a holy land for cultivation. However, what was in front of them now? There were mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The sky was shattered and the earth was split open. It looked like it had been destroyed. Damn it, what happened? The great elder jumped out and roared crazily. The people around him ran over crying and knelt on the ground. Holy King, take revenge. You must take revenge for us. The Silver Corpse Saint King released a terrifying killing intent. What was going on? It was Lin Wudi. Two people from Peerless City. They came here to cause trouble and killed too many of our people. He had to capture the Saint Kings and tear them to pieces. What? Invincible Lin? The Great Elder and the others were stunned when they heard this. 2 young people could beat up their holy city to such a state? They couldn't believe it. If the unparalleled Saint King had come personally, it was still possible. Those 2 people are very strong, and they have 2 Saint King weapons in their hands. We can't stop them. A bunch of trash. Kneel down and accept your punishment. The Silver Corpse Saint King was completely enraged. He roared and split open the sky with both hands. At the same time, the boundless Yellow Springs map covered the sky and spread out in all directions. At that moment, a huge Yellow Springs map appeared in the starry sky and spread out rapidly. It spread out to billions of stars. However, they couldn't find Lin Xian and Lin Wudi anymore. Damn it! The silver corpse Saint King roared and the stars in the sky shattered. The people around him knelt down. They kept kowtowing and begging for mercy. A bunch of trash. You can't even keep an eye on those two people? You should go to hell. The silver corpse Saint King's face was extremely cold. His heart was bleeding. The great elder and the others beside him also had ugly expressions. Indeed, with such a thing happening, it would be difficult for the guards to absolve themselves from the blame. The great elder said, "Calm down, Holy King. The most important thing now is to capture the people from Peerless City. We can't let them go." The silver corpse Saint King's face was cold. He hadn't left for long and his holy city was almost uprooted. If this spread out, he wouldn't have any face left. Therefore, he gritted his teeth and said, "I'll give you a chance to redeem yourselves. Find that kid. Otherwise, you can all go to hell by yourselves. Don't worry, Holy King. We'll find that kid." Those who were still alive quickly took action. On the other side, in a remote world of stars in the distant universe, two figures descended. They were Lin Xian and Fu Hongya. The two of them used the great dragon sword soul to break the seal. Then, Lin Xian used the void escape technique to escape from the Holy King's detection. After landing on the ground, they looked around cautiously. When they realized that no one was following them, they heaved a sigh of relief. Fu Hongya clenched her fists. Lin Xian's lips curled into an icy smile. Previously, their overbearing attacks had severely damaged the Yellow Spring Hall. This had allowed them to vent the resentment in their hearts. This time, the people from the Acheron Hall were severely injured. They had lost a lot of their foundation. Furthermore, if news of this battle were to spread, it would shock and awe others. He wanted to see who would dare to challenge the Peerless City in the future. Lin Xian snorted. "Silver Corpse Holy King, just you wait. This is just the beginning. I'll let you know the consequences of offending the Peerless City." Lin Xian's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Indeed, this was just the beginning. If there was a chance in the future, they would attack even more aggressively. However, we have to be careful. The Acheron Hall will definitely take revenge. They'll look for us all over the universe. Fu Hongya frowned and said, "I have to tell the other brothers to hide. If they were caught, the consequences would be unimaginable." Lin Xian nodded and said, "I wonder what the people from the Acheron Hall are participating in. Something must have happened in the true spirit world. We can go and take a look." Lin Xian prepared to return to the true spirit world. On the other side, the news had spread. The people from the second astral realm were confused at first. They realized that the people from the Acheron Hall had gone crazy these few days, searching for the whereabouts of the Peerless City. Soon, they received the news. The Acheron Hall was ambushed and suffered heavy losses. Even the protective array was split open. It was said that the Acheron Hall had turned into a hell. Many geniuses and experts had fallen. What? There was such a thing? The others were shocked when they heard it. That was the Holy City. Who did it? The news couldn't be fake, right? How could it be? It was true. Then who was the culprit? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.